Live,
There we
probably
go.
now. How fitting, how fitting it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the light is on, and we are officially live, and we are on the road to WrestleMania. Behold, the phone. There's a lot freaking going on right now. You got The Rock coming out, you got Cody, you got Vince McMahon jammed up for more allegations, not to mention TNA Wrestling's fired Scott D'Amore. What in the world is going on? But guess what? Today, the Wrestling Realm Now podcast is here to do you a solid. We are going to discuss it, all that and more, including what's going on with Bailey, Damage Crow. What the heck? Why the heck did Melo do what he did? I told y'all he did it. God dang it, there's too much going on. I can't take it.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes! What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at Wrestling Realm. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. You can download all of our audio content on Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Realm. We are here today, and I must tell you, if you are not familiar with who we are, hopefully by the time I'm done this introduction, you will be. I am the man, the big guy, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen in the building. He is your guy. He is the man. He is a super producer. He has the third brother Hugh, A to the A to the S, P to the H to the E, 3 to the R, to the D. And he is your guy. Not just any guy, the Belt King, the curator of championship culture, Brandon the Guy. Also former booker and writer for Real Championship Wrestling here in Baltimore, Maryland. And he is your host, the man, the myth, the legend, the heart and soul of the Wrestling Realm,
Hollywood!
Brian H. Waters in the building. Look at him embracing it. He's finally embraced his heel turn. If you would like to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, do yourself a favor. Email us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. That's right. So if you want to advertise, you want to partner up with us, guess what? We have advertising opportunities for you. So email us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. That's where you can contact us and put in the subject line advertise. We will respond to you with a package and some options that you have to partner with us if you want to advertise your show, some information, your podcast, whatever you so choose. Email us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com if you would like to advertise and partner up with the Wrestling Realm. But guess what? If you don't want to advertise, you just want to support the brand, guess what? You can do so as well. Shop now at wrestlingrealm.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more for all your Wrestling Realm merchandise and apparel. In the upcoming weeks, we will be doing some live unboxings on air, so you can get a better view and a better look at some of our pretty cool merchandise and stuff that we have to wear. Hopefully, we can hit the streets a lot more this summer in full force. And guess what? If you want to be in full force, do yourself a favor. Head over to wrestlingrealm.com and get yourself a hoodie, t-shirts, mugs, merchandise, all kind of things. If you want to support the brand, well, guess what? Just boldly pronounce yourself to be a proud wrestling fan. You can do so by grabbing one of those t-shirts available now at wrestlingrealm.com. Now, granted, I understand that people always want more from the Wrestling Realm. They say, what you give us is just not enough. But guess what? You have that opportunity now at patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm. That's right, for all exclusive shows and bonus material. We do have a Patreon channel. You can subscribe for just as low as $1. We are pushing hard to produce and create more Patreon exclusive content. There's so much we want to do. Hopefully, time permitting and resources are available, we can do so much more. But right now, you can catch Brian H's thoughts. You can get some exclusive stories that we cannot tell on this air. But guess what? If you subscribe to our Patreon channel and you want some of the tea, you can find that as well. Pretty soon coming to patreon.com. Also, Realness Reacts. That's right, where I react to certain things and I can go unhinged and untimed and really say what I want to say, but I got to behave on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. I'll keep going. But guess what, though? Patreon.com/the Wrestling_Realm for all exclusive shows and bonus material. Now, granted, the Ravens may not be in the Super Bowl this weekend, but guess what? The Wrestling Realm is in the money-saving business. What are you asking me? Well, guess what? If you are looking to purchase tickets to concerts, live shows, sporting events like the Super Bowl, and more, head over to SeatGeek.com where you can use promo code Wrestling Realm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. Super Bowl is very expensive. Anything coming up, WrestleMania is expensive. All these events coming up, anything, tickets to concerts, events, all this stuff. The weather is changing, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is coming out. People are going to be outside. And guess what? We are here to help you out. Use promo code Wrestling Realm if you've never used this before, or you want to sign up with a different email. Yes, use promo code Wrestling Realm. Save yourself $20 off your purchase. Any one-time purchase of $50 or more. So that's SeatGeek.com, promo code Wrestling Realm. Now, with that being said, this is the point in time where we begin to announce the latest and the greatest show, the new and the biggest, the baddest, biggest brand to grace the Wrestling Realm since the Wrestling Realm started. Championship Culture, ladies and gentlemen, season 2 is underway, and guess what? Brother Brandon, Brother Hugh had another spectacular episode. What episode is this? 3?
Episode 3.
Episode 3 of Championship Culture. So if you have never been to youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm playlist Championship Culture, which I know you have been missing out on season 2. We are already on episode 3, 25 episodes. And guess what? The Realness has hijacked 5 of those. I have got permission to take over the show every once in a while, but we're not there just yet. We are just here with Championship Culture. And apparently we have a volume 4 of this NXT title. I'm so confused, but I'm going to let Brother Brandon and Brother Hugh explain what episode 4 of Championship Culture was about. Not until you guys see this pretty cool graphic. Sorry, it's one of my it's my favorite outro. I had to play it. Brother Brandon, Brother Hugh, Championship Culture, season 2, episode 3. What was episode 3 about this week? What did you guys discuss yesterday at Tuesday, 8 p.m. if you all missed it?
Who was that? Is that me?
Now Brother Hugh sounds like a chipmunk. What happened?
Yeah, you gotta get the mic, bro.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you sound
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties right now. Please be hold and be patient as the Wrestling Realm Now podcast works to adjust its technical difficulties. I hope anybody's listening to me. Like,
Brother Hugh was doing that. While Brother Hugh was doing that, I'll tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
No,
this
we would want to have the
season
sound things.
1.
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Brandon. He just left out. You guys made Brother Hugh so mad.
He's got to reboot.
Out.
So to understand that this is volume. All right, here we go. Season 1, we had NXT volume 1, 2, and 3. If you missed season 1, I would implore you to go back to 1, 2, and 3 and look at those volumes, because this was volume 4 of NXT. This is a series of some things we're going to be doing, and if you paid attention to volume 1, 2, and 3, you will understand why this was volume 4. But it's not version 4 of that belt; it's just volume 4 of a series. I'll go ahead and say it. It's 7 volumes, but you should be able to tell what the volumes are
NXT?
if you paid attention. Yes, it's 7 volumes between 2 seasons. So I think the last volume has Dwayne Allen in it, but I'm not for sure because we still don't know what his 5 episodes will be. But yesterday, we went into, if you couldn't tell from the graphic, this version, this beauty. And I even dropped a nugget. I want to know if Dwayne picked up on it. So I'm waiting to see. Where's your papers before I say what I'm gonna say about this? You got your papers?
You know I've got notes. Let me put it.
Okay, well go ahead. Let me see if you picked up on it.
I've got notes.
That's what. I hope you hear that. I got notes.
I've got notes.
Go ahead. And I'm gonna see if you picked up on what I stated in there.
Okay. Well, I've got notes. Championship Culture, Episode 3, NXT Volume 4. Now, you said that you dropped some nuggets for this particular episode of Championship Culture. What what are you asking me? Because I'll be honest with you. When I watch your stuff, I'm so like me focused. It might be kind of selfish to say, but it's the truth, right? So it's like, what did you say? Like I don't remember what did you possibly said that could have caught my attention because I had my notes on the show, but you got to give me a layup.
So the first thing I stated was first thing I was talking about was the strap of the belt, and I swear the strap has been this was Triple H's test, and the reason he's designing these belts this way so they can't be replicated easily. But also, if you notice, the first version of his belt, you could tell this was just an upgrade. And the way that we've been going with things, we went from version 1.5, version 2,
Sure.
then we went to that color flash. And I made a comment about, if you're going to change the belt, why not keeping that same theme? And I coined this version of NXT, black, white, and gold. So why not just add white into this and give us this version back? Because there's nothing wrong with this. They kept it and just added some color, changed the N and the T. So why not just do something a little different, add some white in there?
That's a beautiful.
You did say that. I do remember that.
And I said about these straps, how they, if you notice, this is when the straps start getting a little bit more detail in WWE during the NXT days when they were changing the belts.
Yeah. So, no, you're right. You did. I'm sorry. You did say that. Because I remember you said it was the black and gold era. Then you said the 2.0. Then you said the black, white, and gold.
Mm-hmm.
No, gold is black, gold, and white. I'm tripping.
Yeah. So I just threw that out there. But it's a good championship. It represents NXT. But what say you? What's your note, sir? That was the nuggets. A few of the nuggets that I dropped from there, and there was also a list on there too. And I know Dwayne loves these lists.
You did it. Okay. For those who did not watch the show as of yet, but you did because I saw the numbers. Yeah. Oh wow. You guys get a lot of quick views. Out of belt fans. Wow. Championship Culture, Episode 3, NXT Volume 4. You did. You had a top 5 champions, which I did not agree with as usual. But I'll say this. I'll give you my notes about this particular championship, that belt. One, I love the original title. When Shawn Michaels came out and he introduced it, I thought it was a unique belt. I like big belts. Very different.
And then when
they upgraded to these belts. What do you say, Brown H?
And he cannot lie.
No. Yeah, and they upgraded the titles. Probably due to some situations that probably went down. All of a sudden you saw some belt upgrades.
Somebody being, oh look here, new belts. Hurry up.
Yep, let's just move on. Got to upgrade the belt. I've always liked that belt, but I had one comment about it. I always wanted that particular title to be all gold. And I thought it was at one point, but I realized it was kind of dual plated with silver, which is subtle. It's not bad. I got no beef with it. But if I had my pick of the litter, I'd be like, you know what? I would want this thing to be all gold. But yes, I do have my own top 5 NXT champions.
To hold this version. Remember, we sticking with just this version.
Yes. Now,
okay.
Let me give you my 5. We don't have time to get into the entire show because we'll be sitting for another 6 hours, and Brian has to get sleep tonight. He produces too much stuff. So here's my top 5 NXT champions from the episode of Championship Culture, Volume 4, that I think of my top 5. And I even numbered them this time, starting at number 5. Bobby Roode. I did. Okay. I numbered them this time. Last time I didn't number them. This time I did. Bobby Roode. The glorious one. Number 4, Finn Balor, his heel Prince Devitt turn. I like the analysis that you gave with him. It was one of my favorite runs. When Finn Balor wanted to take some time off, and instead of sending him home, they suggested, look, just go home and work NXT, pre-taped and work once a week from home. And I thought that was genius. I thought it was a new format, and I think it was the precursor to what we're seeing now with NXT. With guys like Baron Corbin and people that even Donovan Dijak that's gone back and forth. Well, you know what? If you want to take some time, go work in NXT, and that way you don't got to take some complete time out. But he had a complete run, completely reinvented himself, heel character for the first time. Number 3, Karrion Kross. He just looks good with the belt. Not much to give in the ring, but his match with Samoa Joe at the last official NXT takeover, to me, was his it's probably his best work to date. I think he worked well with Samoa Joe. Number 2, Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole.
We agree on that. We agree on number 2. That's okay.
And number 1 is Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa
I knew it was gonna
defined
be Ciampa.
that title. Yeah, you did, because he just the way he like idolized that championship. He called it Goldie. Like that was the first time we saw Tommaso Ciampa become Tommaso Ciampa. He tried that character before. We talk about it a lot because we saw him in Ring of Honor, when it was still owned by broadcasting in our day. But it didn't come together the correct way, obviously. But put that Triple H dust on him and some Shawn Michaels seasoning. He really came into his own. And to me, he hasn't really gotten back to that point, but he has a lot of work to do. Fresh face. I have 2 honorable mentions, right? 2 honorable mentions are 1, Samoa Joe, when he beat Karrion Kross at the last NXT takeover before things got really funky, and but he got injured. And then Drew McIntyre. Love the fact that he got it when he did. He was going to take NXT to a different space because he looked like a world champion holding that title, but then he got hurt. You know what I mean? Adam Cole and Undisputed Era kind of debuted. And the next time we saw him, he was on the main roster with Zigzag, Dolph Ziggler, which we're going to get into today as well. Yeah?
Did you see how he shot out? He got excited. He said, "Ooh, you said his name."
So yeah, that's my top 5 for
but let me
this
ask you, you didn't have Keith Lee at all?
No, that's what I disagree with the most. Now we all have a rule. We always got to support the brothers, and I do. But for him to be your number 1 champion,
this is why. This is the reason why if you go back and watch the run now, it was him versus the Undisputed Era, and he kept coming out on top. Something nobody else could do at that time. Think about it. Everybody kept falling to because remember, he started with the North American title with Roderick Strong.
Yep.
And remember, he started dismantling the Undisputed Era, and he had raised a one-man war against them. If you go back and look, that's why he was my top 1. Not because he was the first person to hold the North American and the NXT World title. It's because that whole lead up to it, I felt like it had so much off behind it, more than anybody else, because they had their stories in that match. Because Aleister Black and what's his name, Andrade, their feud was fueled by it just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? But it was a great feud. His was like, oh, we watched this build all this time, and it's like, okay, it's getting to the point now. We going title for title now at this point because it's the only way I can really take you down. You know what I mean? And it was like he dismantled the hottest thing in NXT by himself.
And understandably so. I didn't like his run, and I don't think it was his fault.
Too short. It was too short.
Yeah, it was just like the timing of it all, and then they rushed him up just for Vince to turn him into Spartacus and
Bearcat.
put him in a skirt and Bearcat and all kind of stuff. But
I'm saying he was the top because of the run up to it, not afterwards. Because I like him, and even I think Bobby Roode title reign was a little bit too short. I would love to have him be the longest reigning NXT champion at what I mean at that time for him to have it. Then Adam Cole came and kicked out the park, and I was like, wow, we always knew he could do it, but it was like, look what he did.
Sure.
And for him not to get it on the first try, but to come back and do a second one. But that, if you want to, that might be up for debate later on about the greatest NXT champions to date.
We might have to do that. That might have to be one of the shows. Full-blown debate. Brad Ace likes debates. We're just going back and forth. Somebody's got to win. But if you want to go back and watch this episode and you missed out, I'm sorry. What'd you say, Brian H?
Nothing. I said you got.
I thought he made a comment or quib.
Excuse me.
Head over to youtube.com/the Wrestling Wrealm playlist championship culture, where you can see this episode volume 4, and you can catch Brandon the Guy's top 5 NXT champions of this era holding this title, and see if you agree with it. Go even though the show's not live, go back and still leave your comments. Brother Hugh, Brother Brandon, go back and listen to him and reach out to him. Follow him on social media platforms, and or jump in on Twitter if you want to have the discussion. But like I said, youtube.com/the Wrestling Wrealm Championship Culture playlist season 2 underway. So much more to come. So definitely stay tuned, stay locked in, fellas. Let's jump right what the heck into it. And it's been a crazy week in wrestling. Last week we ended. I wish we could show a clip of last week's show. Last week we said we were going to save this particular subject. We said, how does this end with the bloodline? And just boom, like the week starts and we go into this crazy week. But let's start at the top. Let's get this show on the road. Gentlemen, what did you watch this week? Sponsored by nobody just yet. But if you would like to sponsor this, email us at wrestlingrealm.com, wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. Subject title advertised. Thank you, Brian H, for ringing the bell. Let's get it cracking. Good brothers.
Brothers. I'm gonna do a Dwayne Allen at this time. Can we forego our what did we watch and just let Hugh have his moment? Because I think that Hugh needs to have this moment because we know it's the lead up to WrestleMania. I think we need to just have a moment of silence because Hugh survived and he had a whole weekend full of wrestling, which was capped off by. I mean, do y'all agree?
Yeah, I saw some 5-star matches at EWA.
See, you see how he started to say that with a straight face? That he put his eyebrows down as he sipped his tea. Crazy
that
part
was
is,
the only thing he had. Go ahead. Y'all want to hear what? Y'all want to hear what? Y'all want to hear what he watched?
I do. Let's talk about it, brother Hugh.
Yes, sir.
What did you watch this week? Let the world know.
I actually watched some pretty good indie wrestling throughout the whole weekend. Topped off by meeting my idol, Mr. Dolph Ziggler.
Thank you, Brian H.
There it is.
We've been waiting for this moment.
Just keep that up while he talks. Just keep it up while he talks.
Go ahead, brother Hugh. Just give you a commentary over this photo.
He never smiles. It shows
I know, right? Never.
Look at his face, though. He's clear. He's bright.
That should be the title of the episode.
Hey.
Brother Hugh finally meets his idol.
He told me I look good too, so I was like, all right, you know what? I was really feeling myself.
Hey, from one good-looking man to another. That's
yes,
a limitation. Nobody can tell you nothing now. Mm-hmm.
Look at these
right?
Flower.
Look how hard he's. He hasn't taken that hoodie off since then.
I haven't.
As you see, he still has he has not. And that was the moment when I finally said, "Come take your picture." And look how hard you see all 46 teeth in both of their mouths.
Right. Dolph seen finally somebody who loves him just as much.
And they're about the same height, same size. They're like almost like a match. It's like, the yin and yang. It's like it was so crazy.
If I didn't think that Dolph Ziggler wasn't up for another tag run, I might suggest that he go for one more.
Right. Man, I had a blast.
He's not being shy. Talk about it. You ain't
right,
saying nothing.
We want to hear it.
I've been waiting for this.
Well, first of all, Brother Brandon was just kind of like, he wanted me to be like just fake straight off top. He just wanted me to just stay right next to him. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to get content. You know me, always trying to be professional.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking around and whatnot. I hear that he's there. He shows up. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I turn around. Brandon's looking at me with this big, goofy smile on his face. It's like, hey, there he is. I turned around. I passed out like 5 times. I ain't gonna lie. And then I gathered myself. I was like, look, I can't let him see me. You know what I mean? I got man up. So, after that, we went over, we talked to him, chopped it up with him. We talked about championship culture. Brandon did most of the talking because he was actually helping out with the event for a little bit. But and I was walking around networking with other wrestlers and fans and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous because people say you don't want to meet, celebrities that you look up to or that you admire.
Yep.
You don't want to meet your heroes.
Right. But just watching him work, just interact with the fans, man, I was like, that made me love him even more. Like he took time out for each and every fan, literally held up the line if he had to, and carried a conversation with people, taking pictures and sharing stories and, hugs, shaking hands, all that good stuff.
John Cena told him well, huh?
Yeah, right. Nick Nemeth, man, he's the man for sure. Ooh. Yeah. I got my autographs too. I got my autographs. I got him to sign the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I got him to sign my championship culture belt because that's a title that's near and dear to me, created by Brother Guy. It's personal to me, so I got him to sign it because he's a champion, and I needed somebody else that's that was solidified as a champion who's resilient and and he's a hard worker and he's much appreciated. And he's the best at what he does. So I needed somebody else to put that to validate my title. So got him to sign it. Got another autograph of a photo. Well, yeah, we chopped it up a little bit. We talked about some white boots. At first,
you bring back because he's not responding to me on Twitter.
right. I was like, come on, man, bring back the white boots. He said, man, he kind of looked at me at first like in disagreement, like, I don't really want to bring back the white boots. But I was like, bro, you have to coordinate. White strap, white boots.
You
Let's
got to
make it happen.
coordinate.
That's he turned around, looked at me. He was like, "Oh, you're right. I'll think about it." So there's a
That's good
maybe.
enough.
There's
We'll
a maybe
take it.
there. You're right. I take that. I'll take that. But I wish I would have dropped the video in here. But we also Brandon actually chopped it up with him about remember when he came out and cut the promo and said, "Hey, drop the music, the good one."
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually gave an explanation on that also. We'll drop the video a little bit later on
Good, because I
maybe
was
Twitter or
going to
something or
upload it,
whatnot.
but it wasn't going to let me.
Yeah, we'll drop that a little bit later. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. We met a lot of great people. Farouk was there, or Ron Simmons, great
Damn.
individual.
Perfect
Lex
time. Black
Luger,
History Month.
right. Lex Luger. It was a lot of names there. So yeah, I had a great time. I'm good, man.
Man, listen,
I'm good.
I want to give you a round of applause, buddy, because that moment is what this is all about. If anybody knows Brother Hugh, Dolph Ziggler is the guy, man. I am so happy that you had a chance to have that moment. And a shout out to Brother Brandon that finally said, Brother Hugh, this is your moment. Come on, man. Take your picture. And guess what, Brandon? We got you too.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to Championship Culture. You guys look like you guys had a busy weekend. But I'm glad you guys had
Well,
a
let
chance
me say this
to
about P real quick, and it's crazy because you
Yeah.
could tell how somebody was trying to be modest and trying not to pay attention. I kept embarrassing him. I said, "Hey, Dolph, he don't like JD McDonough because of you." So as soon as he
Oh
said, he
yeah.
said, "Oh, really?" And then it was some a word dropped, and they bonded at that moment. And they also
Yep.
bonded. They also bonded over the fact that Hugh told him a little bit about his story, and that's where you could tell they made that connection. And it was a good thing.
hmm
I was happy for him. I wish he would have been around, but I will say this about Dolph Ziggler. He is, when I met John Cena, and I'm glad Brian made that reference, I thought John Cena was 100% the best wrestler, period, because of the way that he did with the fans. John Cena came from the street and went right to the table and started signing autographs an hour and a half before he was supposed to be there. Dolph Ziggler, when I tell you, this man took every moment that the fans wanted, and then, like, say if a wrestler came up and interrupted him, he would apologize. He would be right there with him. Like, he would make a joke about it, whatever it may be. And no
Yep.
matter what you asked him to do, he would do it. Kids would come up. He would say, "What color do you want me to write it in? Hey, what's your name? How are you?" When I tell you interacted, and you could tell it wasn't, how people cut it on and cut it off.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
just him. Like,
Right.
that, and I don't know if it's because of, he kept saying, "I was in a relationship for 19 years. I don't want to jump into another one. Give me 6
Right.
months, or maybe, and then I'll see if it's great." And then he was giving TNA their praise, but he gave you any story that you asked. He didn't sugarcoat it. He was the realest person, I think. More like, my list used to be John Cena and Ric Flair. Now it's actually Dolph Ziggler, then John Cena and Ric Flair, because that man from start to finish was perfect. Even when he asked me to show him where the bathroom was and I walked him, we joked the whole time. He laughed. He was waving at people, and you could just tell it was genuine. And I'm glad that he had that genuine experience because, yes, he might have missed out on his number 2, but he got his number 1 guy. So that was a plus.
No, that's dope,
Right.
man.
Oh yeah!
That got me
just need
hyped. Go ahead, what you say?
I just need him to wear that championship culture shirt.
Oh, yeah. He has a
That's it.
TNA color themed championship culture shirt.
That's smart. That's clever.
Mhm.
You guys are thinking.
And he
You guys
enjoyed
are
it. He said,
thinking.
"Oh, yeah."
Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Matt Riddle too, because he also has one. He's a very
Yeah,
down to
I,
earth
s-
brother too.
I saw the video. I felt bad for him when I saw how human he was when you see, like, when you go to those type of situations. And I was like, like I'm not like a Matt Riddle fan as a wrestler because he doesn't wear any shoes or knee pads. But I was like, but I felt bad. I was like, dang man, he looked like when you see people in their like human form, he was so gracious and just kind. I was like, ah, crap. Now I feel bad.
I did ask him about that.
So
He said because he wants to be as real as possible. So people, he was like, he knows wrestling is scripted and all that, but he wants people to see that this is real. This is really him taking the hits, giving the hits, taking the bumps. He said, I want people to know it's real. And he really talks like he does. Like he sounds like every word is about to be Randy. This is how he talked the whole time.
He does,
And like
bro. He does.
he had put his hair up in a bun, and somebody wanted a picture. He said, "Hold on, let me get in character for him." All right, dude, let's take this picture. I was like,
it's
"That's really how this man talks. Like he's real, that's him. Like
that's how he was at the bar after Hall of Fame in Dallas, the WrestleMania weekend. Like and most of them was just trying to hang out, like get away from the mix. But anytime fans would trickle in, he didn't be like, "All right, yo, get away from me." He was like, "Dude," So it's always good to see that side of Riddle.
He was enjoying it. Like, nope. Interesting weekend right here.
Yeah, man.
You don't want to talk about anything else happen on Friday night or Saturday before they move on?
We heard like the best theme song ever. That's about it.
And Hugh walked in the ACW looking like $100,000. All eyes was on him all night.
That is true.
People,
I wonder why.
Everybody. I felt like I was his bodyguard. And then Saturday, the same thing. I said, what? Everybody was watching him. So he was definitely got that it factor. He passes the airport test.
I was taking pictures, all that stuff.
He walked in the sheets. He walked in the sheets with his belt around his waist.
Sure enough did.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
It's only right. It's only
right.
You
expect it? Did you expect him not to?
No, like come on now. I'm glad that Brother Hugh is back to having these moments. Like because like you say, he's always working. He's always trying to, you know what I mean? But I'm glad that because Brian would have did the same thing to him. Like, look at him trying to be all serious. And it's always funny. Like when you're on a TV show, you try to get each other to break on camera. Like who's going to break first? and that's how we always do Brother Hugh when because he be locked. Then he be like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing, and I'm gonna focus. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna make this dude like break. And the fact that he got a chance to let loose and just kind of get back out there, and this is what he's done this before. You know what I'm saying? And life has been life. Yeah, so it's good. I'm glad you had these moments. So, like I said, shout out to you, Brother Brandon, for making Brother Hugh take a moment to sit back and smell the roses. So, sorry, it's funny I said it like that.
Guy. I appreciate you 100%, man.
Now, I hate to take such a joyous occasion. I hate to take such a joyous occasion. It's funny because you guys give each other a hard time a lot, but God dang it, what the heck is going on? Why the heck did TNA fire Scott D'Amore? That's just, like I'm not wasting any time. This wasn't originally part of the run sheet, but it happened today.
Where did that graphic come from? Where did that come from?
You know where it came from. First of all, he's heavily made up, so you know it's a reference photo. His skin is not that smooth looking. But like, yo, what the heck is going on, man? Like what? Like so Anthem Sports announced today that he's been fired effective immediately, and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. This is the guy that kept TNA alive even through Impact. This is the guy that has the history. This is the guy that was there for a majority of that time, whether he was on camera or he was behind the scenes. And now Anthem Sports goes, oh, we're going to add it more to our entertainment division and add more resources to it, but we're getting rid of the person that kept this thing alive in the first place. Brothers, what do you think is going on? Because why the heck did they fire Scott D'Amore? Am I missing something?
I don't know. They know something we don't know.
Yeah. I want to say the whole story.
I think it's something. I'm gonna just do this, and hopefully y'all get my reference. I feel like it's that's all I'm gonna say, or some. That's all I'm gonna say.
That don't look good.
Nah, not at all.
I mean, if you're in partnership to get, I don't know. I purposely didn't read anything because I'm waiting to see. At this point, I'm gonna just say this to start of all this. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's real, what's fake. I feel like I'm being work, shoot, work, shoot, work.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on.
Work, shoot, work, shoot, work. So I don't even know anymore. I'm just gonna watch wrestling. Like that picture I said, I'm sitting here. Triple H has screwed my mind up so much. I'm looking at every corner of every picture for anything. I don't care what happens. That I think Brian, didn't you post that picture of Darby Allin? I mean Sting with the half green face and half white.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, what is the green for? What does that mean? Who's that leading to? Oh my god! I was like, Brandon, why are you going down this rabbit hole? Click on the next story. I was like, he screwed me over with like my way of thinking now because you don't know what to think. So Scott D'Amore being, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Brian H., you're an industry insider. What's going on? Why does TNA make this buzz, make this splash, and all of a sudden they fire the guy that's responsible for like, I don't get it.
I don't know. It's something ain't right. And I do know, like, I've been seeing a lot of wrestlers, even ones we work with, they behind Scott D'Amore saying, like, I even seen a quote that was like Moose said, like, if Scott D'Amore not there, he not there. I'm not sure if that's a big loss, but
like,
whatever.
How?
I don't know.
This is like Josh Whedon being gone from Marvel.
Yeah, you can't, like, no. It's the guy that's responsible for like it working in the first place, and then all of a sudden you're like, nope, we're not doing it.
Nope.
You got no Thanos. Like, Brother Hugh, tell me something.
Yeah.
Usually stuff don't get past us, but like Brother Brandon said, Triple H has got us grown goddamn men spinning right now. It started with Bray Wyatt. What the heck, man? This doesn't make any sense to me. Do you smell a rat?
Big time. It doesn't make sense at all because, like you said, the evolution or the resurgence of TNA was great. It was a great outcome. It was a great result, and for them to kind of like just get rid of him after he basically rebuilt that brand, or like it just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm thinking, I don't know, from a business standpoint, like they see that they have a moneymaker now, and they want to take over. To have all of the creative, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
That's probably what it is.
But Brian, how's that possible when you got the guy that spearheads the show? All of a sudden, you let him build it, show you the way, and then say, okay, now we don't need you. We're gonna take over. Don't get me wrong. We've seen it happen already with TKO Sports, but there was a reason for that. There was a value estimate in the brand and some controversy that was kind of hanging around, right? All of a sudden, like you said, so you let a guy build a brand, bring it to the forefront, and then all of a sudden be like, okay, cool, you're fired now. Like you don't replace him. You don't try to move him into a different position. Even a demotion. You don't have a wrestling guy running your company anymore. Now you have an entertainment person running your company. Like nothing. Who probably knows nothing about TNA. Who probably knows nothing about wrestling is because they were impacted in the first place. Like, help me understand. Like Anthony was in charge of Impact. They changed the name. They go back. This is the guy that you put in charge. You said, okay, you're going to spearhead this because you were there in the first place. You know the mistakes that were made. You can help avoid this. And then okay, cool. We make all the announcements. We get new belts. We get partnership. We got all this crossover appeal and some new buzz. And then all of a sudden you fire him.
This sounds like this been a plan. This sounds like the way it happened. It just sounds like it's like you said, you do all this stuff and then you get rid of him. It seemed like the plan was backhandedly that, look, we're going to let him build everything up, get it to a new level, kind of restore it, and then we're going to take over. That's the only thing I can think of.
But why though? He's been in charge for a while.
I know, but maybe I don't. Like I said, this is so complicated. Maybe there's some people, some high exec he don't get along with. This is the only thing I can think of other than it being something controversial that's almost similar. Yeah,
that hasn't come out yet. Something. I don't.
Yep,
I just hope it's
right
not.
There. You guys think it has anything to do with stuff like this?
It's possible.
I don't know because Scott D'Amore really hasn't been in the news for anything besides.
That's what I'm saying.
Impact Wrestling. You know what I mean? Like he don't. I can't think of anything. And even if you go back to his Team Canada days, what really did he do that you wanted to say like, oh, what's? Or maybe they figured out something and said, oh, you got to go before this hits, and we want to go ahead and get in front of it. I don't know. I hope not.
I hope not either, but this is weird. It's too weird because it's got everybody scratching their heads.
Yeah.
Especially because you could tell TNA was going to have a great year with his, and it might not have been all his vision either. It could have been, a creative team, and he was just the forefront of it. But
sure,
At the end of the day, if you got wrestlers that look how hard people took it when Triple H was just out when he was sick, you could just tell it was a shift. So what happens now?
Strange.
But
But like I said, we will follow these developments. We'll keep it moving. Yeah, I don't know. But let's talk about NXT Vengeance Day. Fellas, it finally happened. Months and months and months. We knew this was coming. It just looks so like it looks so deadly.
Dwayne, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Why would you make that, Dwayne? Why'd you do
It
that?
wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Why is it a
Like
wall
he
behind
looks
it?
dead.
That says so much.
Carmelo
symbolism
Hayes
behind
finally
it.
turns on Trick Williams. Like, why, Mello? Why? Let's start at the beginning, good brothers. What you guys think about? First of all, we saw this coming. We're going to talk about the build up to it. We're going to talk about the execution. But let's just start at the core of it all. Carmelo Hayes' heel turn. Why was this necessary now? And what do you guys enjoy the most about the fact that Carmelo Hayes has officially turned heel, and he did it in such a drawn out Shawn Michaels way? Like it wasn't a normal heel turn. Like it like they strung us along for a while. Right. This has a potential to be a career, an era defining feud, right? So if you look at NXT, right? NXT has these era defining feuds. Like you remember, in the beginning, this beef was kind of set the tone for this, and then like for me, an era defining feud for NXT on one part was like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, right? And then you have like Adam Cole and whoever else decide to step foot in the ring with that man. You know what I mean? There's certain feuds with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? Charlotte and
Joe.
Shinsuke and Samoa Joe. Even Samoa Joe and like Finn Balor. Like there's these era defining feuds. And I feel like this is the first one of this post 2.0 like new version of NXT, Shawn Michaels era. And you can tell because he's well vested in it. What do you guys think about Carmelo Hayes turning heel and how they went about it?
It was about time. Melo needed a fresh coat of paint, and we needed to see him. Everybody wanted to push Carmelo Hayes to the main roster because he can wrestle. But like I said, there's more than that. It takes character. Now, we've seen him play heel before, but it was kind of like, he was just kind of more of the arrogant side. But now we get to see a personal issue. We get to see him kind of come from behind again. He lost everything. Now he's trying to regain that NXT title. He's trying to be back on top. It's kind of like what all the stuff Braun Breaker warned him about. And, it felt like he fought it for so long. Now, and Trick Williams, over with the crowd, still got to get the skill set.
Big baby face.
Yeah. Perfect person for him to work with. I've said it time and time again. It's like watching Shawn and Diesel, Melo's because it's harder to get with Trick Williams kind of being not much bigger, but bigger than a lot of the people down there.
Sure, yeah. He looks harder than everybody else.
Yeah. So it's hard to get sympathy around him, So
yeah, that's a good point. Good gosh, hold on. Let me hit the horns with Brian H, man. That's thought provoking. God dang it.
Yeah, it's
on full display right now.
Well, that's what we do here. And so because it's harder to get sympathy around him, because think about it, would you really sympathize with Kevin Nash? The way they did that, you didn't really have to because it was an issue. It spearheaded a Survivor Series. Nash walks out. All of a sudden, he's a world champion because you had an emergency. You wanted to get the belt. So saw like, oh yeah, look at the guy right there. Let's put the belt on him. Trick, you don't have to do that because you got workers down there. So now you can take your time, let it cook. I can see Shawn Michaels saying the mistakes that was made with Nash, we're not gonna make that, or I should say Diesel. Because Carmelo is somebody that now I want to see, because promo wasn't the greatest. He still got work to do to get into that character. But once he does this, he's going to use this, and it's kind of like he's going to take Trick by the hand, non-kayfabe, say, all right, bro, We've been working together. Now we're gonna work together on this level, but I'm gonna take you where you need to be. You know what I mean? In these cases, you have the guy who's the star and the guy with the it factor. I mean, the guy with the it factor, and then the guy who's the veteran who everybody wants. You know what I mean? Like I said, everybody wants Melo, but Trick has showed that he just has that it factor. Now he got to get that skill set, and Melo's gonna take him there.
Brother Brandon, Brother Hugh, was this the right time for Carmelo Hayes to turn heel?
Why not? I mean, it's about that season. It's WrestleMania season. Stand and Deliver is coming up. Let's get this feud going.
You take butts in the seats.
Yeah, you got the storyline already. You let it brew for a while. Do not Trick out. Let him disappear for a couple weeks. Bring him back, and let's get this rivalry going the way it's supposed to be going. You know.
The crazy part is, the crazy part about that, Brother Hugh, is they like it's already been like a chaptered book to this build up. Now it's like, oh shoot, when you think about it, like we're just getting started.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. There was a question being asked, is this a one and done, or is it a best of three?
This
to
is
be
going
honest,
to go
I feel like it has to be a best of three.
Anytime there's betrayal, there's going to be more than one match.
And it's crazy how we talked about this before, right?
Sure.
A couple shows back, it was jealousy and betrayal. That's exactly what it was. Same thing with, I would say, probably TNA situation. I don't know, maybe, possibly.
That's what it sounds like.
And then later on, we're going to talk about Bailey. So
it's a lot of betrayal going on right now in the world of wrestling, but because we have our resident geek culture and superhero culture expert in the guys, not just the Belt King. This guy is a plethora. There's something very specific about Carmelo Hayes' delivery, Brother Brandon. His explanation. That's why he has this beautiful graphic up here that says, "Why Melo? Why?" And it was something he specifically said that sounds like the beginning of a villain story. And I'm purposely coming to you because you can dissect this in ways that I think people will sympathize with the bad guy and understand it, right? I was scrolling on Twitter, and our good friend Victor Perry, educator, musician, and also founder of the wrestling club in New York City, he was rewatching Melo's promo, and which is I'm affectionately calling "Why Melo Why," and he pointed out this one particular line that he said that makes you go, "Oof, man, that's kind of heavy." And to me, it's something that we didn't see before, because let's look at the influence of Carmelo Hayes' whole story with Trick Williams. This guy Shawn Michaels written all over it. We should have known when he came out with that black leather jacket what was going to happen. If they had some glass in a barbershop, you kind of knew what was going on. Even to the point of Carmelo Hayes hitting his music and it wasn't him. Remember Brett, he did that after the feud with he was about to feud with Hogan. He was trying to become a bad guy again, and he came out on Raw that next Monday, and he faked like Bret Hart music was played, and you see Shawn Michaels' influence, but he made a statement, and the line that Victor Perry had pointed out on Twitter, he said that the villain is always the villain when the hero is telling the story. Whoa. Tell us what you thought of Carmelo Hayes' explanation as to why he felt it was necessary to take out Williams.
So he kept making points about you want what I wanted and you going after what I wanted. We had a plan. You were supposed to go this way. You deviated from the plan. So that's why this had been brewing. And we all saw it, and we all kept seeing that, it was I don't want to say dissension or jealousy, but you could tell it was becoming a thing like, hold on there. Okay, he's getting over and we're giving him an afterthought. Who's always coming to save him? And if you go all the way back, this seed was planted back when he was NXT champion. And remember, the first time he fought Ilyanov, he won, but the second time when Trick wasn't there, he lost. And remember, that's when the first seeds of doubt started being planted between them two. And as far as the villain comment, if you think about it, what if this was flipped? What if he was saying, "You ruined my shot. You ruined my shot." You get what I'm saying? And then it's always, you're one bad day away from being a villain. And that's one of those tropes in comics as well. If this couldn't have happened now, I don't think that we would have appreciated it later. Because I feel like right now was the moment it needed to happen. He had a lot of things working against him. He wrestled early in the night. They lost. This was his redemption, for tonight. I still got my title match. I lost again. Now I lost my best friend. Now I'm going to feel bad for him because he lost the Dusty Classic. He lost the NXT title match. And now he just got turned on. We don't see him for a month. He comes back. Heroes welcome. You know what I mean? And it's to the point it's like, yes, I'm going to say this because somebody said something about Melo going to the main roster. I hope that in 2024 we stop the conversation of NXT stars being called up because we got to look at NXT, SmackDown, and Raw as equal playing field. The one thing that's holding it down, they're in the Performance Center. If they move and get the same model as Raw, SmackDown, they will literally be a third brand to be reckoned with because people want to go back there. We're more vested in this than sometimes, and remember over 2023, we became so vested in NXT, we kind of put Raw and SmackDown on the back burner. Yeah, and it was because of the storyline. It was because of the wrestling. It checked off so many boxes that now he was going down a rabbit hole, going back and watch TakeOver. You know what I mean? To the point that you're like,
that is true. Yep.
It's getting us involved. If they were on the same playing field, and I'm talking about their weekly episodic TV as Raw and SmackDown, we wouldn't even be having the conversation because do we need Melo to go to the main roster? Do we need Braun Breaker? No, because you still need that star power in NXT, and they are the stars of NXT. What would an NXT look like right now without one of them? And I'm just giving that example.
Sure. Dragunov and Dijak ain't it.
Right. Their time is past. That was the last year feud. We don't want to see that anymore. We want to see the bigger star. Like you got Baron Corbin and heating it up in the tag team. You get what I'm saying? Like who knew we wanted that? That's what you're right. What do they call it? The Wolf Dogs? But as far as that's what they called, right?
Yeah.
The Wolf and I never seen somebody ride a motorcycle and paddle lemon. They didn't ride a motorcycle. But back to this, Carmelo and Trick. I think this sets up Trick to be not necessarily the next man, but the next person that we want to say, okay, where's Trick Williams? Because every week we're going to be tuning in to see when he's coming back. Think about it. That's all we're going to be worried about on Tuesday. All right, is Trick coming back now? When is he going to come back? Are they going to save it for when he gets a title shot? What are we going to do? How are we going to get him back? Because now we're vested. And the reason he gave, we all saw it coming. We just needed that confirmation. And I'm telling you, when I was texting Hugh, I didn't put it in the group because I figured y'all wasn't watching it live. I said, "Oh, this is about to be bad." Because as soon as he came to the ring with all black, I said, "Yep." And then I don't know what it is about a no shirt and a jacket, and then he had that little black rag. I said, "That's for him to cover his face." I said, "I knew you could tell it was coming." And just as soon as they changed that facial expression and the camera angles, everything about it. But let's just say this: did y'all realize Ilyanov was getting booed?
I ain't catch.
Ilyanov was getting booed so bad. You know how they do the exchanges with the punches? They were booing him. Every time Ilyanov tried to get some offense, they were booing. It was so bad. It was so bad that I started feeling bad for Ilyanov. They didn't even cheer when he came to the ring.
Everybody's lost because Booker wasn't there. They lost because Booker wasn't there.
Well, no, tried to say Booker T's part. It was actually pretty funny. If you get a chance, go back and watch it because that was hilarious.
All right. Booker said he gotta get them cadences right.
It was so, but I'm really looking forward. Now let me ask y'all this: are y'all not gonna be tuning in Tuesday to see what's next?
Of course.
No, that's the whole point. Like we did a whole show called Character Matters like years ago. And I'm like, and that was a problem when NXT was transitioning to like, okay, we're going to start fresh. We got to break out of this indie superstar, like build up, because it kind of took a life of its own. And we were like, well, we don't know none of these new people. How do we get invested in? Like, it's wrestling everywhere. We don't have to watch it just because it's wrestling. Like back in the day, we would have because it wasn't available to us all the way, right? Now we're like, bro, you got to give me a reason. And now we're like, oh yeah, I got a reason. I wasn't sold on Carmelo Hayes because he came out there with sunglasses and talking about Melo don't miss. I'm like, bro, I see MVP 10 years earlier. Like I see Antonio Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he developed, and I was like,
the tall guy with him?
Yeah, and I thought, oh yeah, like, oh, that must be his mismanager. My first thing is he probably can't wrestle, that's why he's his mouthpiece. That's the first thing I thought. And now I'm like, oh no, I know exactly who that Carmelo Hayes is now. And I'm like, he's a guy that he don't want to give up the spotlight. He wants to keep his friend down where he is. He wants to keep giving him the dusty. He liked things the way they were before. Yeah. And now his homie is a threat now because it's like, wait a minute, we on the same level. He's like, bro, it was never supposed to be that way. It's your fault. You were supposed to be number 2. You were supposed to be Scotty. I was supposed to be Michael. And now you talking about, nah, we on the same level. He's like, nah, that don't work for me.
If anybody wants to really see that villain versus hero comment, just go read the X-Men comics when it was the Dark Phoenix saga.
Paying attention.
Remember the Dark Phoenix saga, Dwayne, when Cyclops?
Oh, yeah, come on now.
Cyclops basically said it, and he basically showed in his actions. I'm only a villain because the heroes were telling it. And even after the fact, when it was all said and done, and Havoc, his brother, went to go visit him in jail, he was like, come on now, you know you agree with what I did. You would have did the same thing if you were in my shoes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think that's what makes it such a complicated situation. I'm looking forward to what happens next. This is fun. This is Shawn Michaels, man.
Did you see that question that was posed?
This one right here?
Yeah, that one right there.
Is Strickland going over Melo than him winning the NXT championship?
It could be an event.
I think Melo got to get him.
It could be a main event if done right, but I don't know if it's going to be more important than him winning. When he wins that title, that's his validation. After he done put away Carmelo, then the NXT title will be his validation.
See, I would like to see him. I would like to see Melo get it and then Trick beat him.
I was about to say, I think that's will be the moment if Carmelo Hayes is kind of a transitional guy. Like he wins it, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, who's going to contend for it? And
I told you I would see him and then whoop that Trick.
Yeah, that the place would lose it.
They would lose their mind. What's the next? Is it Stand and Deliver the next one? It's nothing in between it?
Nah,
I'm not sure.
We on the road to Stand and Deliver.
Oh, it's not. They don't have a buffer one.
No, it's not like Elimination Chamber.
So how would you give it? How would you get Melo?
You can do it on a Tuesday night. Why not?
You think? Okay. I was just saying.
I mean, you can easily work an injury angle, work anything. You know what I mean?
Well, it got busted up. You saw that he was busted up.
Yeah, like I said,
it's Sting and Darby Allin.
True.
Your new tag team champions.
Yeah.
Look, Tony.
I'm okay with it.
The comments.
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Yo, who did that? Yo.
Wow.
I have no idea.
No, he did it wrong. He's supposed to have an important announcement next Wednesday for you to tune in on Wednesday for my important announcement. That will be big, industry-shaking announcement. Thank you. This Friday, Joey Rampage, and Saturday is Collision. We have awesome wrestling. You won't be disappointed. Buy a ticket
you pay
to the show.
The money.
I mean, the graphic says Austin.
Yeah, like we saw it in Boston, in her hometown. We get it.
My true test is going to be if my daughter watched.
Yeah,
because you think she'll watch AEW?
My son will not.
I say this right now, and I keep saying this, Brian, because I still got their Christmas cards. I have money in them. That's why I keep telling you. I need to drop them off. Kids have not translated well to AEW because Adam will not watch Adam Copeland in AEW. He's like, nah, that's not Edge. It's like
he liked Edge, didn't he?
Yeah, like I don't know what the problem is. It's like we'll support people but it's something about the presentation, and it's lacking when it comes to appealing to a younger audience, like kids. The diehards are fine. To me, I think AEW's made for live audiences, even though the people are not going there live anymore. But like,
that's another thing.
One of the first things you guys told me about going to
wrestling fans. It's appealing to the wrestling.
Yeah, like you guys were like, "Oh no, it was lit in there." I'm like, it looked like it. Like that's what it's made for, and it looks good coming across TV. But then after a while, you gotta at some point keep people's attention because at the end of the day, you're running television. But
I totally forgot they had that title match. That's how much I was invested in it anymore.
Even with even with WCW, kids was invested in WCW. I was one of them. I remember the debates in doctors' offices, hearing kids talk about which one you like better, WCW or WWF, you know? And then, I mean, you was either a Bret Hart fan or you was a Sting fan, a Hogan fan, or, you know, Ric Flair or Vader, you know, pick and choose.
No, that was real.
You know, Brian, it was like you said, DC versus Marvel, right?
Oh my gosh.
He just set him up. He just walked right into that one.
He did.
But you're right.
DC wear capes.
That's just one thing he gonna keep saying.
Yeah, shout out to Jack.
Keep saying that. Even think about it. Even like when WCW in those early years were like trying to like doing crossover stuff, like having RoboCop pop up, is because RoboCop 3 was coming on TV. You gotta remember the 90s was a different time. So it was a big deal when movies were coming on TV after a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that was a big deal. You know what I mean? Like we were like, oh snap, they're playing movies on TV.
Sunday afternoon. Remember Ready to Rumble, and then they tried to do the cross promotion with it because it was like, oh,
that was a disaster. I watched that movie more than I watched WCW at the time. Like whoever wrote the movie should have been writing for WCW because it was better than the product at the time.
We're going to level up with Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and we're going to rename the title this Wednesday on AEW. Fury of the Gods, level up. I was like, what is he talking about? That makes no sense.
No, they bring has-been rappers. Like Trina, not even sexy no more.
She's still thinking of hips though. I'm okay with it. I'm not watching AEW to see her.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I was going on Twitter.
Like they are fabulous, you know. Westside Gun, like, yo, you know, I like wrestling. Show me love. WWE won't.
They just paying people because they you know darn well they don't watch this on a regular basis. Like, you said a paycheck? Yeah, I'll show up. What you want me to do? Wave? Yeah, I watch this stuff. Pay me. But
Snoop up there trying to climb the ropes.
Yeah, that's okay. Remember we said we were going to stop talking bad about AEW. No, we said we were going to stop talking about. I'm going to get text from Tony later on. Like, look, buddy, it wasn't nothing personal. You know, I got to be fair.
But really made Tony Khan in the chat.
Yeah, Tony's watching. We have to. I'm looking forward to what happens with Trick and Mello. NXT is right now they're the focal point. Like, no offense to nobody else, but it's just like, yo, this is their bloodline story. Like, you know, on that level. But betrayal is everywhere. Bailey has made a decision, right? This is Brandon's girl. Did you see the pants she had on? Sweet Lord.
Yeah,
Brandon's always put out her pants. I noticed. I was like, oh my goodness, Bailey. Sheesh.
But did y'all see her trolling on Twitter?
Of course. That's what she does.
That was hilarious. That was the best part of my week.
So,
I'm sorry.
Damage Control turns on Bailey. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't see this coming. I thought she'd be the one to be kind of conniving and kind of snaking her way. And I feel like at one point she probably was going to and then changed her mind. I felt the same way with MJF and Adam Cole. I felt like at one point MJF was like, I should turn on Adam Cole before he turns on me, but then he kind of like chose not to go through with it. And then Adam Cole was the one that was really like, no, I'm taking him out because Max is a certain type of guy. He was going to take me out if I didn't take him out. I felt the same way about Bailey. Bailey has made her decision. She first of all, where's Dakota Kai? Is she okay?
She's still hurt.
They probably so she's hurt. Things are getting physical.
Okay, yeah. Because then
she couldn't fit in that angle with the beatdown angle.
Yeah, she will be kind of all right. It makes sense. She'll write her off TV. So like Bailey comes in the mix. She goes, I've been studying Japanese because I've been noticing things off, and you guys have been flipping on me, and we kind of all saw that. First of all, Io Sky, Asuka, and freaking Kairi Sane is ridiculous. You talking about three of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time, not women's. I'm talking about wrestlers of all time, and they're in the faction together. It's bad if the Kabuki Wars are a tag team, and then you add them. I said, dude, that is vicious. Like if you think that Japan, they're not knocking on those doors. This is vicious as it is, and I think that Bailey has done an excellent job with building Damage Control to what it is now. Because when they first came out, I didn't really see it. Not to say that it was bad. I was just like, what is she going to do with them? How's she going to get this group over? And it's just, once again, it's been the evolution of who she was when she comes back, and now she kind of makes a baby first turn. What are you guys thinking about Bailey versus Io Sky? And do you think this is something Io Sky was okay with? Because she looks conflicted. Like Asuka looked like she had a plan. Kyrie looks like she had a plan. They were kind of like, but Io Sky has this look on her face like she's like, I didn't want to do this, but I got no choice kind of vibe. Am I wrong?
I think you see it differently. I'm gonna say here's the way I see it, right?
Okay.
I see Io was loading up slowly but surely because I don't think she fully trusted Bailey or Dakota. So I
Okay.
felt like slowly but surely, hey, Kyrie, I got my belt. I need you to hold on to it. I need to hold on to it. I need you to come back. Oscar, I know we done had a little bit of differences, but look, I need you to turn on Bianca in this match. Let's work something there. Let's all come together. So I feel like she was waiting for Bailey because last time Bailey had a partner, her best friend. And if you turn on your best friend, you liable to turn on anybody. So
Exactly.
I feel like
nobody's
Io, exactly. So Io knew, look, it's been a while since Bailey wore gold. She might be coming after my title soon. So that's the reason why. And slowly but surely, leaving Bailey out. They get into the show. I remember the one time it was on SmackDown, they all came down. I was like, wait, where's Bailey? And then she's like, wait, I didn't know we was going to the ring so soon, stuff like that.
There it is.
So I feel like Io been doing this whole time. And then Bailey, oh my gosh, did she not make you feel bad? Everybody at one point in their lives been the one that's kicked to the curb or wasn't allowed to play or didn't get picked. And Bailey sat there, was like, I just wanted what was best, but she was smart. She had that lead pipe waiting. Because she and I was like, yo, thank you. That is brilliant. How many times we just seen people get beat down? She knew what she was going to do and she was prepared for it. So overall, and when they showed her looking, catching them talking, I said this earlier, insert soap opera music. She's sitting there, it's like, oh man. So man, we look, first match announced for WrestleMania, they are going to cook. Bailey finally gonna get her moment, hopefully.
You guys don't find it suspicious?
What?
First match announced. We're going to talk about it more in the main event. That's all. Like that don't seem awkward to you guys?
Oh, I know where you're going because that's what I was gonna. I got that in my notes.
Okay, so save it. We're gonna come to you. I want to hear what Brother Hugh has to say. Brother Hugh, Brian doesn't find it suspicious. What about you, Bailey? Like, think about it. This is the first match announced. This is the official. Like, this has made it very clear. We've been hearing things, we've been saying things, but this seems like this is official. How does this all go down, Brother Hugh?
It's not main event, that's for sure.
See, there you go. See, you take it out of context, Brother Hugh. First of all, that's not nice. You didn't have to say that.
I'm not. It's not. Let's be real. There's with. I hate to say it like this because I love the ladies.
Sure.
I'm a big
we know
women athletes, but
now you said it right. You the first time. Look at you. You and your boy, Mr. Steve, girl. So we know.
Nah, but there's a bigger storyline at stake right now. You know what I mean? With the whole Cody and Roman situation, what we're going to talk about later on. I feel like it's a good opener. That one. I feel like it's a good opener, for sure.
Is this what Io Sky needs? Who needs this more, Io Sky or Bailey? Because here's what I'm saying. To Brandon's point, Bailey kind of is like she's getting back to like being Bailey. You remember because when she first came back, I was like, she's kind of in a manager role, and you can tell she's not all the way like what I mean, like to be. They slowly worked her in, and she's had from when she returned to SummerSlam to now, it's like, okay, now's the time, right? And then you have like Io Sky, who kind of came back her own self, right? And they're building a main event talent with her. And what Brian is just talking about with Melo and Trick, like, look, we work together in this capacity. Now let's work together in another capacity. And it's like, this is what Bailey was fighting for in the Vin Man era. But she's like, yo, we got to build new talent. Like, we need new dance partners, but you can't be afraid to give these elaborate, long drawn out storylines. McMahon would have been killed this angle. We'd have been had this match already after a month or two. But like I said, you got fans going. Yeah, like so it's like you got Bailey
I thought you was finished, my bad.
Nah, you good. It's like Bailey back in her space or Io Sky, like, okay, main event talent. Who benefits the most? Who needs this more?
I would say Bailey right now because like you said, she's been out with that horrific injury, and like you said, she's been playing that back burner role for a while. Help building superstars, and it's just like, look, we need to be reminded that Bailey is the MVP of the women's division. She's it. So
She's
I
yeah,
say, yeah, push her, give it to her. You know, she's
Mhm.
gonna get it at
and
WrestleMania. I mean, EO.
then
No, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was like, 'cause then she gets once again she gets to work with the challengers. You know what I mean, and help them make
Right,
them. So
right.
hmm, brother Brandon, this is the first
What
time
type
we.
of Bailey do we get to see though?
That's what I was about to ask him. This is the first time we're seeing a semi face Bailey since the Hugger era, right?
Right,
And
So
her
right,
first WrestleMania singles match.
yeah,
right.
that's
That's
wow,
also
that
true.
too. What are we looking at? How did Bailey get to this point, brother Brandon? How can she survive under this new version of herself? And where does she go from here?
Well, the one thing I want to
I
say,
ask
I
you a Hawkers
think
because
that
that's your girl. I don't know if
it
she's
is
text you personally or not, but I know how you feel about her. So this is why I gave
not
you all
not
that.
yet
Man,
because she could have
here we
warned me she
go.
was going to win the Rumble, but I'm still a little heartbroken and she ain't telling me. I had to find out with the rest of y'all that she was
She
winning
could
the
have worn
Rumble.
she was gonna wear those pants on SmackDown. I don't know why those like you always talk about her pants, but this week those pants got me. I was like, okay, those are it. Sorry. I ain't
So
remember Brother
let
Hugh
me
and
say
Dolph
this.
Ziggler too long. You start acting like this.
Let me say, let me say this about Bailey. She remember when Kyrie came back and she was like, "Whoa!" Like she seen a ghost. And then
Yes.
Oscar joined. She like, "Wait a minute. The people that I've destroyed are
Are they
aligning
about to
with
jump
me
me?
because of what EO is saying." So
Mm-hmm.
they was the EO girls first. So now they all together. But in my mind, I'm glad it happened this way because remember, the Kabuki Warriors have a tendency to turn on their other person. They did it to
That is
Paige,
true.
remember?
That is
True.
So
The other
we
person.
already the other person. But as far as Bailey, I hope they didn't rush this turn, quote unquote, because the whole Sasha thing. And they said now we got to build a new story going into Mania, which I'm all for because I think we're going to see some great matches on SmackDown, some great promos. Because if you turn loose Bailey and Asuka before Mania, if you turn her loose on her and EO, her and before she gets to Kyrie,
Mm-hmm.
or give Bailey a microphone, put her in a bubble so that way she's safe by Mania, because it's so much story that can be told.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, and I want to say this opens night one because it's the one we need to see. This is the one we want to see. Because think about it, with the next 2 weeks we're going to be seeing a lot of build up, and they're starting this early for a reason. And the reason I was going to say that they announced this first, why not announce the Japanese wrestler on WrestleMania? Because it's a free agent right now that still ain't said nothing or did anything, but you putting them all in the spot that you say we treat them better and you have options. So why not have that be the first match that you announce at Mania? And I love the fact that Bailey gets to troll because she posted about that press conference. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? Because she wasn't on it. But that's what I love about Bailey. And then from the press conference, she said it. This has always been me. I need to make a change because I was getting booed. I didn't feel like myself. So y'all got this version. And now, since
Mm-hmm.
the crowd is loving it and cheering it, I think we get the next evolution of Bailey that I've been asking for because it's time for a new evolution. She don't have to be all completely face. She don't have to be completely
Sure.
healed. She just needs to get what she deserves and what we know she can do. Because she didn't, during the pandemic era, she didn't have any fans to celebrate her. We didn't celebrate the fact that she's the only woman wrestler to do everything, minus NXT UK Women's title. But she's done everything, every accolade a woman can get on the main roster. She's done.
You're absolutely right.
She's the only one. She was the first people to understand. She was the first Grand Slam champion. They put that much faith in her to be that woman to get that first. Not the
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, not the Natalia. They said we're going to go with Bailey. Not even Becky Lynch. We're going with a Bailey to do the first Grand. That's something that she can't ever take away. And when we look at it, look at all the things she did to get to that point. So Mania, I hope that she kicks off night one with this because that's the one I don't want to be waiting to the mid card or right after a match. We're like, oh, here she coming, then it don't get as just deserved or it gets shortened on time. Give them the first match to kick off Mania.
Yeah. WrestleMania, Bailey, Io Sky, WWE Women's Championship. Unbelievable. Man, we got a little bit of time before this plays out, but this is going to be a spectacle. Well deserved on both ends.
They about to cook.
Oh yeah, big time. And I think they're probably going to be held back because they're like, please don't make anybody look bad. But I think they're going all out for Philly. So looking forward to this match. And let me tell you what else I'm looking forward to, good brothers. The main event of tonight's show is because last week we ended the show. We made an executive decision. We said, should we talk about the bloodline and how it's going to end? Cody Rhodes makes his way to SmackDown, and bam!
What is
that's right? There's we're going to get into our famous segment. Usually we do a little early in the show, but this is going to main event our show. Good for business, bad for business. Do we want The Rock or do we want Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes shows up to SmackDown. He tells Roman Reigns, I want to beat you at WrestleMania for that championship. I want to finish the story, but not this year. No, but just not this year, this WrestleMania. The Rock music hits. He comes out. He looks at Cody. He gives him a dap. He brings him in, gives him a hug. Show goes off the air. What the heck goes on? There's an initial buzz because anytime The Rock comes back, it's like it's going to be pandemonium. Then all of a sudden, the world erupted. I don't think we got the response that we thought we were supposed to get because now all of a sudden there's been a hashtag going around saying, we want Cody.
Sure.
So a few weeks ago, people were making fun of saying, oh, Cody Rhodes again, including Brian H. Talking about, oh, Cody Rhodes again. Who wants that? We don't see that again. And then like when people got it behind it and then The Rock comes back, everybody's like, oh, The Rock's back. They're like, no, wait a minute. We want Cody. Which one is this, brothers? We have to figure out and we have to come to a conclusion as a faction. Is this good for business or is this bad for business? Cody Rhodes allegedly giving up his spot at WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship and forego finishing his story. I'm going to go last is because I'm going to rant and I'm long-winded. Somebody please jump and explain to me what the heck is going on. Good for business.
I'm gonna say,
go ahead.
I'm going to say it's good for business.
Tell me why it's good for business. Because Brian H. did something this week and he went on and he said, fans need to calm down. Cody Rhodes is going to be okay. But before you go, Brother Hugh, a couple of things happened after Brian H. uploaded that. And all of a sudden, I don't think I was as convinced as Brian H. almost had because I was like, you know what, Brian H. is right. But then I say, wait a minute. Something seems off about this. So go ahead, Brother Hugh.
Now, I was going to say, because in the first place, what were fans asking for in the first place? Rock and Roman, right?
Yep. Yes. To finish the bloodline story.
We're getting it. We're pretty much getting that now, right? So I don't see the issue. But at first, when I was looking at it, I thought maybe they could have did it differently as far as introducing The Rock. Maybe have him enter the Royal Rumble. I don't know, win it. I don't know.
Please put a pin on that idea, Brother Hugh. I'm going to come back to that point. Like this, imagine we're looking at a digital bookmark and I said, boop. And as that point you just made, I'm putting like an asterisk next to that. Please continue. This is going to get good.
But the way they try to flip the story, I kind of like it. The more and more you think about it, I kind of like it.
What do you mean flip the story, Brother Hugh? What do you mean?
As far as it's not Cody's giving up his spot. You know, it's more like he's trying to end. All right, the bloodline is a plague. He's trying to find a way to get rid of the plague once and for all. So the only way you can possibly do that is to bring in something or someone that's connected to them to get rid of them. So it makes sense the way they try to break it down.
It does make sense.
We're not even talking about what's going to happen with Cody. Number one, Cody, he's younger. We're going to see him for a long time now. You know, as opposed to The Rock. When are we going to get another match from The Rock?
But Brother Hugh, this is what's going into my brain right now, and I'm telling you, this is not adding up. It's not making sense. Like you're saying all the right things, but because you're saying all the right things, I'm telling you, I smell a turd in the punch bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something seems off.
Absolutely. Now Cody Rhodes. Now look, he's about to become the biggest babyface probably ever now. Ever.
Big time.
So,
Like he's the face of the franchise for real.
man, you talking about John Cena? Nah, he's already surpassed him, bro.
He
Already.
he is. Look how big Brother Brandon's eyes got when you said that. He looked directly at the camera like you said, "What?"
Yeah, man. Like, so it's gonna
He's
work out for Cody either way. So imagine when he finally
that's a
does
good. That's also a good way to
finish
put
that
that. It's gonna
story.
work out
Oh
for Cody.
my gosh, bro. Imagine that pop.
Yeah.
And Brian keeps saying it. WrestleMania was it 41? Can we get in at ATL to finish it up? Plus,
Something's
you
off.
also, I mean, I don't see The Rock winning, but you could possibly get Roman breaking that record too, or
Brian H is gonna
surpassing
be
Hogan.
Brian H is gonna be conflicted. I'm gonna get to you, Brian H. But Brother Brandon,
No, let Brian
good
go.
for bit.
Let
No,
Brian
no.
go.
I wanted to go
No.
second to last.
Yeah,
No, I
okay,
want to
okay.
go
So go
right
ahead.
before Dwayne. I want to go right before
Okay.
Dwayne because I
So
gotta mess up his.
no.
I gotta mess up
Brian
his
H is
theory.
going.
Hey, rock,
Brian H
paper,
is going to
scissors
go
right
second
now.
to last. So I'll go, and then Brian H, you go, and then Brother Brandon, you first, because I'm not going to let him disrupt my thinking, because this is what he does,
Okay.
and I'm gonna get my point out first before he disrupts
So
my
I'm gonna
thinking.
send you my notes so that way if one of y'all say it, you're gonna laugh
Okay, cool.
because. All right, I'm
Even
gonna do
better.
that. All right.
And I'm gonna talk directly to Brother Hugh because these guys they're about to cook, as you say. These guys are about to
Yeah.
cook. This is what everybody came into the show to listen to. Let me tell you why this doesn't make sense to me, Brother Hugh. You said some
Why's
very
that?
key things, and I'm like, bro, doesn't make sense, right? We know
Mhm.
CM Punk went down with an injury. We knew they had to replace something.
Yeah.
The Rock had already made it clear when they asked him about main eventing WrestleMania when he signed on to be on the board of directors. He said, it would be great to do that, but we got to make that big. We got to build it. I don't ever remember the WWE rushing to do anything. Right? So you go from saying,
Right.
like, let's if we're going to do this, let's do this the right way. All of a sudden, now we're doing it. Doesn't make sense to me. Cody Rhodes finally at that peak where people are like, yo, it's time to end this bloodline storyline. It's time to take Roman down. All of a sudden, he just graciously gives up that spot for The Rock. Now, at first, I was like, okay, hey, that makes sense. You know what? He did the ultimate company man thing. This is what Brian had me thinking. I was like, well, he did the right thing. The company needs him. They had to call audible. He made the ultimate sacrifice, and it doesn't hurt to make the ultimate sacrifice to the new one of the new members that sit on the board. He's ultimately the boss. He's like, look, I'm giving up my spot because this was best for business. If you're gonna make a sacrifice for the company, for anybody, it's for the new person on the board of directors, and it's The Rock, right? That will make sense to give up that because The Rock says, listen, you're doing the right thing because you're proving that you're going to be the face. We're going to make sure you get everything and more. Just, the fact that you're giving this up. I said, okay, that makes sense. But then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Why would The Rock not wrestle and come back 2 months before WrestleMania and think he's going to main event against Roman Reigns? Listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I didn't watch The Rock DVDs. He's always talked about how hard it is to get back in that ring after a long period of time and try to knock off that ring rust. Right? So what sense does it make for The Rock to come back? They never officially announced anything. They're saying it. Nothing has been announced. The Rock comes back. They have an exchange. No words have been exchanged. All Cody Rhodes said was, I'm not doing it at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Right? We also watched, and I'm hoping I'm changing Brian H's thoughts and hoping, and I don't think I am, but I'm trying. We watched them have to change the main event before because of Daniel Bryan. When Batista won the Royal Rumble, and everybody's like, no, you guys messed up again. This is not what we asked for, right? So then all of a sudden, we started getting these "we want Cody" hashtags thing. I'm like, wait. So this is a thing? I didn't know it was a real thing because I think I missed SmackDown. I didn't see it live. I got it. I was like, and then a fan goes, yo, they're handing out these "we want Cody" signs at Raw all of a sudden. Yes, right. I'm breaking kayfabe. I don't care because I'm sick of Triple H screwing with my brain. I'm an intelligent wrestling fan, and he's getting over on me, and I hate it. So I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. How's The Rock going to come back after not wrestling for years, jump in the ring in 2 months and main event against WrestleMania to close this bloodline storyline up? Okay, guess what? He goes, he loses. What benefits that? So you sell some tickets, and The Rock loses at WrestleMania to Roman. Roman becomes the all-time greatest, whatever, only for him to lose eventually, right? So he had to wait till Madison Square Garden. Cody beats him there, and then Cody finishes the story. Why would the company pass up any opportunity to move something forward like the Cody Rhodes era just to have that moment to have Roman break those records? It's possible, but it doesn't make sense to me. Something is off. After a while, I started watching Brother Hugh, and I said, yo, I think we're being worked. Something's off.
Right.
I don't trust Triple H, man. I didn't think it was that serious before because it's never been this complicated when it comes to WrestleMania. These big events like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, they've been showcase events like boxing, like, you know what I mean? Like the circus. It doesn't have to necessarily forward storylines. It doesn't have to make, it just has to make enough sense for us to put on a good show for the fans. That was always the McMahon way. That's what we got. That's what we're used to. We're getting to the buildup of WrestleMania, and I'm like, why are there storylines involved in the goddamn buildup? Tell me who's going to be wrestling somebody. Because guess what? All of a sudden, bam, Drew McIntyre decides he wants to attack Cody Rhodes on Raw. Like, bro, what is going on? He's trolling CM Punk with that t-shirt. Seth Rollins is begging for Cody Rhodes to face him at WrestleMania. He's not saying anything. He's smirking and looking left to right. I'm like, yo, why are they doing it this year? This that Triple H does. Where like it's never been this complicated for them to make a decision. Flat out, hey, I won Royal Rumble. This is what I've done. It's been a contest. Now, all of a sudden, we have never seen the Royal Rumble winner conflicted. You won the Rumble. It should be easy for you. Pick a world champion and win the title. Now, all of a sudden, he's conflicted. He's stuck between two worlds. He's stuck between one level and another level. And if it's for business purposes, okay, I understand it. But guess what, though? All of a sudden, now your Royal Rumble winner is conflicted on which title he wants to go for. He's giving up an opportunity to finish. Why? Cody Rhodes never said why. He said, I'm not going after you, Roman. But then if he says, okay, I'm going to let The Rock cook, why did he just answer Seth? And Seth Rollins like, you playing games. Are we facing each other at WrestleMania? Not. I want this match. I need this match. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how healthy Seth Rollins really is.
There it is.
Something's off, man. I'm telling you, and I came to the conclusion, and I'm done. I think we're being worked. I think this whole press conference in Vegas, I think Elimination Chamber, I don't know what it is. Before, back in the day, I think they are purposely selling WrestleMania. They are selling everything leading up to WrestleMania. So you have no choice but to freaking tune in and pay attention to what happens next because they're being coy. They're not being clear. They're not telling us what's going on. Roman hasn't responded. The Rock didn't say any words. Cody's cat got his tongue when Seth is talking to him, and now all of a sudden Drew McIntyre beats him up. Oh, and then all of a sudden Sami Zayn's having the epiphany. He's been talking to Triple H, and he's starting to feel some type of way. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Y'all are messing with me. Please tell me who's going to be in the WrestleMania main event because y'all throwing me off. Not to mention, you got 2 nights. There's no saying that something might happen between night 1 and night 2, and somebody might double duty. I don't know, but I've come to the conclusion. I think they're messing with us. Brian H., the floor is yours, good brother. Good for business, bad for business. Cody Rhodes allegedly giving up his spot for The Rock 2 months before WrestleMania. Please make it make sense.
All right, that's first of all. So let me just say, because I haven't spoke on this, so I'm gonna take my time as unusual.
Okay,
so
let me get the screen off so people can see what's going on.
Cody Rhodes, to answer that question off the bat, is great for business for him to give up his spot to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm gonna just say something real quick. I am so sick of wrestling fans calling The Rock Dwayne. It has been the most biggest pet peeve of mine since 2011. Everybody think they all first name basis. And I got more rants. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon as I did an episode of Ride With Me, especially everybody crying over this. Here's the thing. Cody Rhodes is going to be there. Cody Rhodes will be around. Him saying he has to destroy within, like you said, a plague. Wow. Exactly. When you think about, you have to go inside. You can't, because he can't attack Roman the same way he did. And
Excuse me. I got to take notes on it. I got to take notes because you said something already, brother. That's got my mind twisting already. I'm like, just, it's not clicking, man.
You cannot just. You it's like when you play a video game, right? And you keep playing it, you keep doing the same moves, you're gonna keep losing the same way. So you got to figure out, okay, how can I attack this differently? You have The Rock. First of all, it's The Rock. It's the match that we've been waiting for years, and I be God dog it. It's just like my sister Krista B just did a sound off. I've been waiting for this match for years. I've been to WrestleMania 38, 39, looking at the end of the night when after Roman's music, as me and brother Brandon had talked about, there's a part in Roman's music in the arena that does this solid transition.
That sounds like it wants to be the.
It makes you think you about to hear the If You Smell. And, not to mention Survivor Series. And wrestling fans are trying to ruin that for me. You already ruined Hulk Hogan. So I look back, August 2020, August 30th, 2020, Roman Reigns became the Universal Champion. Shortly after that, he deemed himself the head of the table. From that moment on, it was a seed planted. Because
yes, it was.
Never before have we been invited into that side of the Anoa'i tribe, of the Samoan culture, right? For years, he's told Jimmy and Jay, and now Solo, this is how I feed the family. I am the head of the table. I am the tribal chief. Now, usually, the way I understood is that in order for there has to be some sort of ceremonious or some sort of torch passing. We saw tribal combat, right?
Tribal combat, yep.
You bury out the elders, right? They put all this on Roman. Rock never officially retired or left or anointed him as the next up, right? You look
He's the grandson of the real chief, the high chief,
exactly.
The high chief.
Who made
he's legit the high chief. Yeah.
And
he's the patriarch of their family.
Technically, his mother would be the elder, right?
She qualifies as an elder.
She's the
she's the daughter of the high chief.
So she's over at Alpha and Sika. We haven't seen her get involved, right? So there's this complex story. You know, we saw Yokozuna. Yokozuna was the guy who was the head of the table and made sure people like you saw Yokozuna at the forefront. Granted, we know he was billed as Japanese, but there are pictures where it's Yokozuna and it's Rikishi and Samu in front of him. But Yoko is the Rodney Anoa'i is the high chief, is the tribal chief at that time. This is Roman's time, but this is the point of he's making these statements. So now you have The Rock come in and say, all he got to do is if he says that, now we conflicted. Now we, and that's what he did on January 1st. Everybody was with it. Everybody was with it when he said at the head of the table. Everybody lost their minds. Nobody was checking for Cody then. We all had an idea Cody might win the Royal Rumble, but nobody, let's be real. I go to last Friday. I'm watching. And when The Rock came out, I lost it. I was like, oh boy, we are cooking. Yeah. I didn't care about that. But then I went on the internet. No, before that, I remember tweeting because I knew Stephanie Hardy was there. And I was like, I was happy that she was in the building for that. And it was another lady by the name of Brittany. I want to say 0078 or something like that on Twitter. Pardon me, Brittany. But she had tweeted earlier in the show, and this was doing the Bailey stuff. I said, oh, man, you had a great SmackDown. Because that Bailey stuff, which we talked about, got overlooked, was phenomenal. Yeah. Everybody that I've seen, it was nothing but cheers. And y'all remember when I came home and Brother Hugh came home from WrestleMania 28, we said we enjoyed it. We get on the internet in the elevator. We're like, wait, people didn't like it? Are you
right?
That's what I saw Friday night. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? So then the next day, and I was like, okay, the IWC done did it again. They done filtered in. Now I'm seeing reports that that there wasn't signs from WWE, but there were fan signs that were being passed out. I'm hearing conflicting reports, but SRS is currently battling Twitter right now because he reported the Mercedes Moné stuff wrong, said she was headed back to WWE. Now he's trying to fight everybody on receipts. That's why you don't trust the dirt sheets. So all this discord about The Rock wanting to go over and Cody being upset, I'm not buying none of it. I believe we are being worked. I think what makes I know what makes this different from WrestleMania 30 is nobody asked for Batista. People get out there and say they was the biggest Batista fans. Batista was booed the moment he was in the Rumble when Daniel Bryan was denied. Cody Rhodes, The Rock didn't get
Ray got booed that night. That was his first time ever getting booed.
Thank you.
Great. He was number 30, and that was Ray was like, "What?" Because he was number 30, and it wasn't Daniel Bryan. He got booed.
Ray never got
Ray
booed.
left. And Ray after that he left. He said, "I gotta go."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Batista constantly getting booed. He was, and that it had to be a change because they had denied us Daniel Bryan, and they kept saying, "No, he isn't the guy." As much as we say he wanted to be the guy, I got his book.
Yes movement came alive.
The Yes movement came alive. He said in the book he was slated to face Sheamus. Cody, the difference is we know Cody's going to finish the story. You don't win 2 Royal Rumbles, even if he don't win it this year, because everybody's an expert, right? And Cody wants to do Dusty's story. I got news for y'all. Dusty lost not once, but twice in a row at Starrcade. Didn't win at Starrcade. He won it at the Great American Bash.
Hey, yo, it took him 3 years, man. Crap.
No. 3, yep.
But I felt like the Great American Bash was a better place than Starrcade for him to win it.
Hello? And guess what?
But we talking about Dusty, though. Remember, that was Dusty. That was his story. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm just saying, I feel like that when he won it felt like it was a better place for him to win it.
And Cody's creating his own story, right?
Oh, crap, dude. I just realized something you said. Like, it's really like the same thing, like with Cody and the Bloodline, like Ric Flair and the 4 Horsemen.
Yeah.
Where, like, Dusty Rhodes was, like, constantly harassed for 3 years straight until he finally, like
and
he didn't beat them. Yeah.
There are cracks in the Bloodline, but it's not fully broken. Because Solo is still in line. Jimmy is a little off the hinges. He needs some medicine, right? But
he's
going to get sent to take the Intercontinental, in my opinion, the Intercontinental title from Jay, or they're just going to have a match. They're going to have their feud.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to be sent after Jay.
Okay.
You know, Jay done made it clear he wants Gunther. Jimmy going to get sent after him. Don't be surprised, though, if Solo helps Jay takes the title just to get it on him so they can get it back in the fold, right? So the Bloodline isn't fully cracked. You don't have a crack until you got the person that Roman is most afraid of. That's when you really get the crack, and that's Solo. If you pay attention earlier, when Roman bumped into Solo, did he not? You know, he was punking Jimmy and Jay around like, no, do this, do as I say. But with Solo, he didn't mess with him. He was like, nah, my bad, you know, because Solo looked at it, looked down. So until you crack him, until you get him to the point that you still and Cody Rhodes knows this, but who is the person seeking counsel, right? He go to the Rock, like you said, Rock can say, board of directors, look, you okay, give up the spot. I got to get the family back in order. And then Rock knows in order for him to kind of get Roman back in order, he got to take the title from him. But
so wait, so Rock, come out. So Rock has to beat Roman. Is that what you're saying?
No. In order for Rock the humble Roman, he got to take the title.
That's what I'm saying. So to successfully get the Bloodline back in order, you feel like Rock has to beat Roman.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right?
I'm taking
now
notes.
the crack in the Bloodline comes because now Solo is going to have to make a decision. Because
why?
Because we see him as being what, loyal to Roman, right? But
is he being loyal to Roman, or is he being loyal to his tradition? If Roman's the tribal, so it's like, is he loyal to Roman, or is he loyal to the tribal chief? So if the Rock, if they make it clear, tribal combat, you know, hey, I'm not your muscle, I'm the tribal chief muscle. It's him now. Does he not? I don't know. I'm asking.
But see, there you go. Because now he's conflicted. This
is getting good, brother. You got to take notes. This is because I'm a piece this together.
Whoever side Solo chooses, now it's a conflict. Now you done formally. All you gotta do is get them two in the ring together, Rock and Roman, because whoever, neither one of them is going to want to budge, right? You saw how they slowly walk towards each other. You know, that's that measuring. Everybody was out the ring. So now you create that. Now you got an issue. And now that allows Cody to sleep in, but he can't do that until after WrestleMania.
Whew, so man, that's heavy.
Did you forget that like Brother Brandon said this a long time ago? He's sent by the elders. Who like what's his real purpose? Like
that's
what is he
Remember, we
what
kept
was he
asking
sent
that.
for? Right, Brother Brandon? Remember you talked about that?
Like it wasn't the wild part about the mother.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that too. Remember, I've been saying. So
yeah,
the problem, and that's part of my argument. It's so first you finish Hollywood.
I'm gonna just say this, and I'll finish this. Cody can wait. Him giving up his spot is best for business. Cody can take the world title, and without going down such a rabbit hole, far as we know, I know they just got new belts. You can make a merger of the titles when Cody has it because they're not giving out Roman's title anyway. They're giving out legacy belts, right? So whether it's the world heavyweight title, that could be the championship, and you can bring that lineage back because, you know, we're under a whole new regime now. And this, who's to say this regime would have split the titles in the first place? So you can book a story where Cody wins it at MSG in November or October after the record is passed, and boom, he gets the title. He can stand there. He can go in somewhere in the halls and stand over superstar Billy Graham's statue or ground statue or whatever they call it, and say, "I did this for my daddy." But you know, at the end of the day,
I'm conflicted about that. I'm gonna tell you why. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's just me as far as that's me fantasy booking as far as Cody doing this for his dad in MSG in the place that his father couldn't get it done at. But that's you know, that's a possibility. But overall, they gotta create a crack in the bloodline. The crack it's not created yet. If Cody goes into WrestleMania, the same thing is gonna happen. Solo's gonna be right there. He's gonna jam that thumb in his face, and he's gonna lose.
Okay. So they got to create a crack, but the crack has not been created yet, right?
You got to create a conflict. Right now, there's no way to conflict. They're not going to. Solo's not going to be conflicted about helping an outsider. But now see with The Rock, because again, like y'all said, the elders, but maybe the High Chief's direct line. The High Chief's direct line.
He's the grandson of the High Chief. Like that matters. Oof, man, this is going to get brother. You keeping up with all this?
Yeah, I'm keeping up with it. Yep.
There's a few things I'm going to pose that I think going to be factors that we have to discuss, and then there's one or two questions that we have to answer before we like officially come to a conclusion. As far as good for business, bad for business, The Rock taking over, the Cody Rhodes giving up his spot at WrestleMania for The Rock to finish this storyline. Finish off the storyline of the bloodline. But Brother Brandon, it's your turn to sizzle, sir. This is you guys are doing excellent right now, because I'm telling you, when I say I got notes, I thought I had notes with championship culture. Or like I'm here. Like I gotta they're there. Like
I see
those real words.
No, dude, like this is I'm keeping up because I'm telling you this what you're saying is making sense, but it's not correlating to what I'm seeing on TV and what I know. And I feel like they're doing it on purpose. And there's a few factors that I want to get you guys 2 cents on it. It's because I'm like, bro, something's off about this. Something doesn't seem all the way situated. But Brother Brandon, let's see what you can add to this puzzle, sir. Good for business, bad for business. Cody Rhodes, The Rock, WrestleMania.
So it's good for business because it's having us have this discussion right now.
Okay.
The other part, and I'm gonna tell you why it's good for business. Go back to Cody Rhodes' promo when he said Jay's gonna leave you, Jimmy's gonna leave you, Solo's gonna leave you. You know, and he said, "Wise man, you'll be all by yourself," and that's when I'm gonna become the champion. Right? We don't realize how impactful that promo is because WWE hasn't re-aired it. We don't realize that when Cody went to Raw and Roman was on SmackDown, they kept them separate for a reason. Triple H has done such a great job at any time he can say, boom, the feud's back on. When they had the tag team champion ship match and they were on SmackDown, it was like, oh, look. Oh, yeah, let's finish that story again. The buzz started to talk. Then they dropped the titles because of interference. We want to keep that going. It's always interference, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem I'm having with this whole story is a couple of different things. First, Brian always say, about the Rumble, either you're going to make a new star or it's going to be a thing where, like, the next up person, right? I feel like the Rumble was wasted only to give Cody an accolade that he didn't need in his record book right now. I hope that, because it won't be another time for him to be a back-to-back winner to put his name alongside those two-time winners, those Hall of Fames.
Now, are you talking in terms of it? Are you talking in terms of it being like a consolation prize almost?
No, I'm just
Like
saying
that,
he didn't like. And I'm trying to paraphrase how Brian said, because when he says it, it always dawns on me who's the next up, right? So if we keep that mind frame, look at Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna just talk about the women. Look what it's done for her career. Look what it did for Sasha. We knew Sasha was on this trajectory, but then when that Royal Rumble hit, it was just like, yep, she's our person. And
no, Bailey. Bianca won that one. Sasha didn't win.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Bianca. But I'm saying then the next year it was Rhea. It was like, oh, okay. Yeah. It usually tells us the story of we didn't know that we wanted it, but it's giving it to us, right? So this year it was so much behind. Oh, Cody's going to have back-to-back. But we were conditioned with his adversity. Cody got to go through this. Cody got to go through that. So we all put outside our mind, oh, he's going to lose because he's going to get to the title at Chamber, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we had too many factors. We got a CM Punk here. We got a Rock here. We got a, oh, Lord, this star, insert, right? And when the Rumble happened, I said, oh, that was cute. Cody won. Okay. I could have swore if I would have betted money, CM Punk was going to win it. Now, I never want anybody to go down for an injury, whether they call it audible, whatever it may be. I don't care. This is the next bet I'm going to make, because as soon as that Rumble happened, the floodgates open for this is what's supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen. Talks to this, talks to that. In the last 30 days, we have had so much news, so many stories, so many. Well, this person said this person is reporting that. Do you understand? I think Triple H is smart enough to say, leak this out, leak that out. Because, first off, let's talk about this. Like, here's the thing that I don't understand. If you got somebody saying all of this stuff, right? You have a press conference coming up. About 50 days away from Rumble. It'll be about 50 days. How much? It's like 62 or 60 something, right?
About 60.
So 60 days away from the event. You're having a press conference for an event happening in 60 days. You are overshadowing a big paper PLE event in a country that you haven't been to since when? 1942 or something? I mean, what is let's call it what it is, right? Why is the press conference not focused on that? Or why are you not having an international press conference? You just said, okay, Elimination Chamber going to happen. We good. We just sold out tickets. We're going to talk about the next pay-per-view, right? So we've only announced one match officially. The match, the poster for WrestleMania has The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody, Steph, Bianca, and Rhea, right? It only has those 6 superstars. The majority of them are champions, right? Let's call it what it is, right? So you got the majority of your champions on there, but you're going to promote that event that, to me, as a consumer, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch that. That's to pick up the other people and the other news sources to get them to watch it, because you have The Rock in it, and you want to know, oh, The Rock's back in wrestling? Somebody that's an attitude era child or a casual wrestling fan. Oh, well, let me see what he's going to do. Why is The Rock doing that? Because he's doing something now with the new company. Let me go see, right?
Also, remember what city they in. Remember what city they in. What's also taking place?
Las Vegas and what you call it?
The Super Bowl.
Yes, I was gonna say. So they're gonna captivate on it, right? So I'm pulling up my notes, right? So you got all of this stuff being leaked. You only got one match announced to satisfy the one thing for the actual wrestling fans that are watching diehard wrestling fans. You got stuff for the casual wrestling fans, and now you got stuff for the person that don't even know what's going on. They're just like, oh, there's a press conference, right? And
like,
it's got The Rock
Johnson
in it, right? Right. Oh, he's back wrestling. So it's a reason that we got this press conference. It's a reason that Cody has been solid. It's a reason that we got all these things, because one of the things that came out on the dirt sheet is, oh, they're going to merge the titles back. And to me, I laughed. I said, Triple H didn't put his heart and soul into that World Heavyweight title just to say put it back together with the other one. Let's just call it what it is. That's his baby. That's his thing. That's his gimmick. It probably hurt his soul that he had to give up the Cruiserweight title, but that might be episode of Championship Culture. But
that was a nice transition.
If you think about it, all right, what sense would it make that
segue, by the way.
we're about to move to Netflix next year, and we're going to be on USA. USA has historically said we want a champion. That's why we got the Universal title. So these dirt sheets, I automatically dismissed it because I'm like, USA ain't going for that unless the champion is going to be on there. And now Netflix is going to be ad free with Monday Night Raw or Raw because
premium subscriptions.
Yeah, premium subscriptions, right?
Yeah.
You think they're not going to have a world champion or somebody they can identify that when you go on to see what you're about to watch, it's not going to have somebody plastered on the front with a belt? Come on now. So all these dirt sheets really start making me pay attention. Like, what are we doing? We still got the Elimination Chamber. Nobody's talking about. Why are we building so much? And then you have these other elements. Like Brian made a good point. Jimmy is a little crazy right now, but I love that he's a crazy gimmick because it's going to make for a good story when him and Jay, the Red versus Blue, Yeet versus No Yeet at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, with Rikishi being the special guest referee. Because it's a reason they have not, and this is my last point I'm going to make, it's a reason they have not addressed the fact that there is no other family members in this storyline. I believe they're holding it off for a big payback. If you know anything about the Usos, they have a special place for that Intercontinental title, not only because their father had it, because Umaga had it, the man that got them into wrestling. So I think that's going to be the story that's going to unfold to give them that moment, because it would be special not only to them but to their family for them to see that match happen. And maybe Rikishi isn't the referee, but maybe he's some part of it that it's going to be, he's awarding whoever wins it the belt. And I honestly hope, and as much as this might sound crazy, Solo, when it's time for him to interfere in the Rock and Roman match, he looks at him and aligns himself with Rock. And then Roman's like, what are you doing, Solo? What are you doing? And the explanation is, The Rock sent him. I think that's going to be the crack that does it, is The Rock sent him because he is his mother is the elder, right? And I really, because we keep saying it about it, I believe that his mother, she's always at the events.
She is.
She really hasn't been shown on TV, but she's a wrestling fan. And you think she's not going to be there to watch her son?
Her whole career.
Yeah, you think she's not going to be there to watch her son? So why not? Why not on his entrance, she put the lay on him? In a different color. Maybe he has.
Don't want this. Come on, man. I said, and fans don't want this. Come on.
So, and my thing is, and I understand why the fans don't want this. I understand the fans want it. We've been saying Rock versus Roman because I had the same feeling. I love that gimmick that after Roman won, somebody's music hit. And I kept waiting and waiting for the Rock's music to hit, and we never got it. If you didn't shove Cody Rhodes down our face, and I'm a Cody guy, had you not shoved him down our face, this wouldn't be Backlash. But I believe Triple H is doing this strategically, because what is the world buzzing about? And the number one trend was what? Cody Rhodes. The number one merchandise sale on, what was it, Saturday came out the report, was The Rock. Now, Brian might know this better than anybody because he supports Charles Line. He understands, he'll tell me stuff about, like, when the t-shirts go on sale and things like that. If there's a shirt being released, right? If right now The Undertaker came out with a shirt, we haven't had one for 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to automatically sell out. If a new color comes out, it's going to sell out. Do you think that wasn't by design, that we said, oh, The Rock's on there, busted out there, number one merchandise seller, number one trend, what's going to happen? What you call it is Thursday, right? Tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The conference, right?
It's going to be the number one thing talking about a hashtag.
Everybody's going to tune into.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So Triple H and Nick Khan, not Tony.
You got
Nick.
the
He has figured the Khan because I don't want to say because
not just any
they
con.
have figured out the perfect balance of entertainment and wrestling to the point that now it's almost seamless that I don't know what we would be doing if it wasn't Triple H and the Khan because he's given us the business aspect that Vince couldn't tap into. He was tapping in the wrong spaces, but Triple H is making sure. Oh God, I dealt with the wrong way.
I'm sorry.
I set myself up for that one. But
wait, yeah, go ahead.
Kind of did.
Yeah. But I will say this: when it comes to Triple H, he's in messed out bond up so much, but he's backing it up with the good wrestling. But the good wrestling based upon the story that's being told.
And you said The Rock was the number one merch seller?
Wasn't he on? Yeah. Was it Saturday the report came out?
I don't know. But this
he's out here playing chess.
Yes.
They said WrestleMania tickets.
What makes more, merch or tweets?
Well, no, the tweets will send them people to the. So, all right, let's think about this. So that's a good point, right? That's why I'm saying the perfect entertainment. If you don't have the tweets, nobody's going to shade into your product. Because if you sign on I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter, and you see the number one trend all of a sudden is we want Cody. Who the heck is Cody? You know what I mean? No matter what else is going on in the world, you're like, what is this? Or you just scrolling through your timeline and you see somebody that you know talking about we want Cody. I'm like, huh? Because even with the more championship culture episodes that come, the more I find out people in my circle are wrestling fans. I'm like, really? Oh, wow. You know, because now it's being presented. Fans. Yeah, and the closet wrestling fans are coming out, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know that. Or like when somebody started engaging you in the conversation, even to the point that you can always tell their level of involvement because of who they say, the wrestlers they watched, or the belt that they like. So because we had number one merchandise sale and the number one trend, I guarantee you that Friday, and I'm gonna say this every time The Rock shows up, those next 2 weeks of shows sell out. Because it's the thought of, oh God, is he gonna come back? Is he coming back? Oh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen? And that's what I love about this and why I say it's good for business, but it's bad because we are literally sitting here arguing about all of this stuff being thrown at us because we're so used to give us what we want or be frustrated because we didn't get what we want. Because we would be frustrated. Right. How much time, and like the post came out today about that moment in Black History when Kofi won. I remember watching his run up to it. That gauntlet match was probably the most talked about thing because it was like, whoa, Cody reminded all of us at that moment, hey, y'all know I'm here. I'm that guy. Y'all might have forgotten, but I'm here. And then that Elimination Chamber match, he said, I told y'all I was that guy. I didn't win this match, but it's okay because y'all are giving me my validation. So come Mania, I don't care what spot on the card it was. That was the match I was most invested in because they had showed us when we told Vince, no, we want him. We don't care how many leaps and bounds we got to go through. Give us Cody. Same thing with Daniel Bryan. And I think now we wanted Cody and we wanted The Rock, but they shoved Cody in our face so much that now it's like, but wait, you told us we wanted Cody. I mean, yeah, I wanted The Rock. I've been wanting him for the last 3 years, but now you're telling me I got to have him, and then I got to – well, what do I want? I'm just mad right now. And now you're telling me we're going to combine the belts. You don't know what's going on. Wait a minute, but what about everything is like a – hold on. What? It's probably something that came out since we've been on the air. That another report that's happening. Oh, Triple H didn't know. Oh, Triple H is going to be – one of the things I saw was Triple H is going to be replaced. That's why they brought The Rock. And I was like, now y'all just getting crazy. Like you think they're going to take the man?
Cut it out.
They're very happy. Exactly. I don't care how much he's attached.
Like, they're guys.
No matter how much he's attached to Vince McMahon, that's his father-in-law. But Triple H ain't attached to that stuff. So I just hope that Thursday's press conference give these people
that's today, right? As
7 o'clock.
Give them something to calm down. And I'm just saying I think the only thing that's going to help save this is we identify who the elder is and Solo's status. Because I'm telling you, Solo, if he aligns himself with The Rock, that's going to shake the foundation of Roman, because there's only one person that just shook him and had him off his game, and that was Seth Rollins. That's the only person. And remember, Roman cut that promo for the purpose too. Nobody attached that. He said, "Let me talk about my brother."
My little
He
brother.
talking about this, my little brother. He over there defending the belt against the people I already beat. You can go over there and be the very best number 2 guy, or you can come here and try to get and lose to the top guy. I was like,
yeah,
okay, you move, Triple H. What you got for that? Because that was some real everything that people have been talking about, and look at it now. So I think it's good for business because it's doing its purpose.
This is ridiculous.
It's interesting in this time.
Yeah.
I'm
Definitely is.
It's getting late and it's time to wrap this up. But this is unresolved, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I want the listeners who are listening to and those who've enjoyed the conversation, because everybody's sizzled. Usually, what happens is when everybody sizzles, everybody cooks, everybody brings these ideas and concepts. We can kind of, I think, between our 4 Avengers-like minds. Sorry, Brian, I know you don't know what you're talking about. We can take down the big boss, right? Like, okay, everybody brings something to the table. It's like, okay, cool, we can piece it together. Okay, come on, let's fellas saddle up. We can take them, and we're the heroes. I've heard everybody's point of view. Yeah,
he was that man.
I'm the biggest one, so just imagine like Ant-Man. I'm not slow anyway.
No, he was Ant-Man. You're like the Hawk.
Sure, that works because I like that line. He's always like, anyways, it's a different rabbit hole. I am not convinced any more than when we got started. It's because I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm in my notes. Brian H said there has to be a crack in the bloodline, right? We got to finish this story somehow.
Right.
We don't know if it's going to finish it or if it's going to evolve. That was Cody Rhodes' justification in introducing The Rock, allegedly, right? It was implied. It wasn't said, right? It was implied. Fair enough. We all know The Rock is not a full-time wrestler. We all know The Rock is not about to have another run. We all know that the UFL starts off in the spring because I've seen him 13 times on my television and all these commercials on the Big Ten. So, as soon as WrestleMania is done with, he's going to be right to the sidelines promoting spring football. We know he's not sticking around long enough. And we know he's not beating Roman at WrestleMania because he's not going to be there full time. He's not going to have time to leave and come back. And then who beats The Rock? We got a rubber match, Roman versus Rock 2.
Remember the dirt you said he is?
It's listen to me.
That he's around for. Didn't he say he's back for a while? He's back for a run.
He pushing to beat Roman.
He is on the board of directors. He's going to be around for a while. But he doesn't not to be no wrestler full time. Here's what I'm saying. How do you justify Cody Rhodes bringing back The Rock to take down the bloodline? How do you expect The Rock to come back to WrestleMania just to lose in potentially a one-off? Right? That doesn't make any sense to me. Right? How do you and Brian says you have to beat Roman in order to further the storyline, but you can't beat Roman. Because what sense does it make if you're going to have Roman lose at WrestleMania? Why not have him lose to your biggest budding star? And that's an opportunity that you're never going to get again. So why would you pass it up for the sake of The Rock being there if The Rock is just there to lose? If The Rock is just the last person that Roman needs on his resume to solidify him as one of the greats, which he doesn't, but say that's the thing that puts him over the top, right? Just so he can break Hogan's record. So in your face, Brian H. Right? Is that more important than the opportunity they have with Cody Rhodes in making a new superstar in Cody, Captain America? Doesn't make sense to me. Also, and I'm just telling you why this doesn't make this. It's not clear to me. Also, Triple H is doing this crap on purpose. It's because he's making us pay attention to every show. He's making us pay attention to press. Somebody's going to get caught slipping. It's because somebody already got caught slipping. Brian H's good friend, I believe it was Lance Anoa'i. I don't know if it was him. I don't know if it was another one of the family members. They made comments. They said, "Oh yeah, they requested a bunch of us that was originally supposed to be in the tribal court originally.
Yeah,
in the original concept. But you know what he said? He said the reason we couldn't do it is because we had too many members a part of organizations that were contracted, and it wasn't going to work at the time
because of the MLW
right?
lawsuit.
Right.
Jacob just became a free agent.
Rikishi has finished up his obligations. Zilla 2 asked for his release from Reality of Wrestling Developmental.
There it is.
Jacob 5-2.
He really ain't need his release because Booker T would have sent them.
Well, he didn't want to continue. He started doing indie bookings. He wanted to get all of a sudden he wanted to get some more hands-on experience instead of kind of learning because he just started wrestling. Right. Jacob 2, free agent. Right. He made it very clear when they was like, "Oh, this is our independent bloodline." He's like, "Oh, no, there's only one tribal chief," and I acknowledge him. Family. Rikishi just made that belt with the bloodline logo, the Samoan Dynasty logo, and the We the Ones logo.
Oh, we about to re-hit. We about to only in the bottom of the third is a SummerSlam.
Listen to me.
We ain't going nowhere.
All those guys, from what I know,
both got him in trouble last time.
Yeah. From what I noticed, the Fatu Anoa'i Wrestling Dynasty, a lot of those guys are free agents and they're available now.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out how The Rock plays into this. Why do all this just for Roman to beat him? Where's the end game? Does Roman hold it for another year and Cody wins it somehow else, or Cody wins at a different event? Do you miss out? Do you miss out on the opportunity to capitalize on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? What's more important, finishing this storyline? Because to be honest with you, it's not going to go anywhere because it's pretty much you're pretty much saying that the bloodline's going to end unless it transitions, right? Jimmy finally walks away. Solo gets caught slipping. Say you bring in other pieces. I don't know, right? Say you bring in, you bring in Jacob Fatu or whatever the case may be. Say you bring in Lance and everyone else for this guest spot. Where do you go? These guys, Roman's barely on TV every week. Why would you give up the one guy that's kissing babies, that's making towns, that's paying for kids to go to WrestleMania, that's your biggest baby face, that's been on TV, that's a personal friend of Shaquille O'Neal? Why would you give up that? That's going to push your business forward for the sake of finishing a story that's bound to end. That does not make sense to me.
You forgot one thing. He is your pass for the wrestlers from AEW. They're gonna come because of Cody.
And pretty much he's inside recruiting at the end of the day. Because they're looking at what they did with Cody and said, well, shoot, if they push you and you were the competition, I don't think they're gonna be mad at us. We can come get a fresh start.
Look at Jay.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Y'all know that saying I hate, but I gotta ask. You know how you say when somebody's super over? You know what y'all internet people favorite line is?
What's that?
They don't need the title.
Yeah.
So has he reached that level where he doesn't need the title?
Listen to me. He doesn't, but we're not talking about the title. We're talking about the opportunity to crown the next king of WWE. Think about it. The bloodline is coming to an end. Do you sacrifice crowning the next king so a story can end? That's like think about it. We talked about it, I don't know, probably a month or so ago, where it's like, okay, the bloodline went all the way up and like, okay, cool. Now we're on the downswing. But you know what I mean? We're on the back half of it now, right? We see empires rise. We're seeing the part of the story where this empire is going to fall. Is watching the empire fall bigger and more important than crowning the next king that's going to lead you into the next decade? Is WWE going to miss out on this opportunity if Cody Rhodes does not defeat Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship of the Galaxy?
No, I don't think
I don't
so.
trust
I don't
Brian
think they.
Edge's judgment.
I know because I know I'm Team Roman and I've been enjoying because we've been eating steak and every time I log onto my Cash App, I like the numbers that I see. That is because of my tribal chief. But I just think because I look at it like Cody's going to get it. You know what I mean? And I
At
don't think
WrestleMania, though, do you pass up that moment though? Like let me tell you, it. Even if think about it, even if Cody does win it, to your point, it's not going to be the same because it's not going to be the same flair. It's not going to be the same circumstances. It's not going to be the same celebration. It's not going to be in front of the world. It's going to be in front of the section of the wrestling audience. Madison Square Garden, even that's a small venue. Yes, it's historic. I appreciate it. It's 10,000 people. You talking about potentially 40 to 50,000 people.
I'll be honest
for that one moment.
I'll be honest with you. If I was a betting person, you had a better chance of me betting last year that Roman was going to retain in this year. This year, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's how much, like, if I'm being honest and not trolling and not hopeful.
So you saying you don't think he has a chance of retaining?
No.
This year. Okay. So with that being said, real quick, that means on paper, that would mean The Rock would have to win. But if you look at your intelligent way of looking at this, what is that? I'm asking this is because all the wrestling minds say the same thing. Bruce Pritchard says it all the time. He always says, "So now what? What now?" So like, okay, cool.
That's the
Rock
reason
wins.
why I think
who beats The Rock?
No, but see, that's the thing. I think Cody done made a side deal. As much as I think it's best for business for him to give up this spot, I don't know what that side deal is, but there was a smirk.
That's the $1 million question. Because think about it.
Let me ask you this, because before you ask that, Brian made a comment about this. Cody need the belt. If Cody didn't win the Rumble, he would not need the belt. How much more can you do with Cody in 2023 to make us care about him? Because one thing that we keep forgetting, and I hate to bring this up, we still got a Money in the Bank briefcase just hanging out.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant because it's irrelevant because they didn't put it out of our sight. It's out of our mind. R-Truth has distracted us with that Money in the Bank briefcase right now. If you think about it, we're not even talking about Damian Priest being CEO of Money in the Bank, right? I'm not saying Cody can get that briefcase. I'm not saying that Cody doesn't beat Seth and then he get cashed in and he loses it and now we feel bad for him. And now that starts we got to get Cody back a belt in the next year. But what do you do with Cody from, let's just say we passed Mania, right?
You just said it.
What do you do with Cody from?
That's it.
You just
said exactly. It. You get what I'm saying? What do you do with him? Because at this point,
you blame Punk, so you pivot Cody versus Seth, and he gets cashed in.
No, listen, he gets cashed in. So now, what do you do with him? How much more can we? Whoa! He just cut a promo. Okay, great. I came to see Cody. Oh, look, he did something else with. Okay, he becomes the new Make-A-Wish guy. Awesome, great. Why am I going to buy a ticket to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown in September with Cody being the marquee person? If it's not now, will we have enough things that we can start and stop? Because I keep saying it, he's been back, and the only title that he's touched has been tag team titles, right? He's not going for Intercontinental. He's not going for US. He's not going for anything else, right? He's so over right now. If he didn't win that Rumble, we would not be worried about this title right now. But because he done backed us into a corner by way of thinking, he won that Rumble.
That's exactly what it is.
Cody is so over before the Rumble. Cody was so over no matter who he was wrestling. It was like, because think about it, when Seth got done with Shinsuke and went right to Cody, we were still interested, right? But what do you do with him? I honestly don't think he don't survive. I don't think that he survived post-Mania without a title, because that storyline is going to become, I don't want to say, it's going to have that effect because remember,
say it. It's the truth.
It's
fans.
It's going. And people are going to. How much more can you cheer for? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying because remember, I'm always go back to this moment in WWE because it was the craziest thing. Randy Orton was on a tear through WWE, kicking everybody in the head. Remember, booed out of his mind. Right. The moment Cena was going against Randy, and it was like, "Yay, the hero coming." Wait a minute, we don't like Cena. We're going to cheer Randy, and it completely changed the whole thing. It was like, but we were just booing Randy yesterday. No matter what he did, it was because we were tired of Cena at that moment, and then they had to do something different. You get what I'm saying? Then it was like, well, now Randy has become the face. So I'm just scared that we're going to be in that position. And I'm just going to use September post SummerSlam, right? SummerSlam happens. That could be just as many fans or as much attention because the party of the summer, if it's positioned right, that if you have Cody in that title match, where he's going to be so close to the Hogan reign, you're not going to want him to win it because it's like, well, he only got 3 more weeks before he beats the Hogan reign. So why would you do it then? If you don't do it at Mania, why get him that close? And I'm telling you, if we would have just last year this time wrote our way out of this situation and just had Cody say, "I want the WWE Championship," Roman would have still been as dominant with that Universal title because he said it. That's the title I made important. I made that title special.
Go back 2 years ago and not merge the titles in the first place with Brock.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm saying it's fine if he merged it. But remember when Cody won the Rumble, he said, I'm coming for, instead of him, he could have just said, I want the WWE title. And that's how you would have unmerged it. Because remember, the only reason if you go on WWE.com and look at the superstar, they still are counting the days for the Universal title and the WWE Championship. And they're counting the time as the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. They're doing that by design for the records to show that this person has held this belt to beat this person. You could have inserted any name in there and said, guess what? He is the longest reigning, just like they did with Bianca, the longest reigning women's champion. Because they stopped saying Raw SmackDown. They said she's the longest reigning women's champion in modern day history. Roman Reigns can be the longest reigning champion in modern day history. He could go down as the greatest champion of this era, the greatest champion of all time, whatever it may be, because we're not going to live to see another person with this type of historic reign. Unless they do something crazy. I'm saying, unless they do something crazy with Cody gets it, he doesn't lose until WrestleMania 77. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if we would have just said Cody is challenging for the WWE Championship and Roman could have still had that Universal title and it would have still felt as special because, let's be honest, y'all cared about the Universal title more than the WWE Championship for how many years straight? Almost 2, right?
Yeah.
That was it.
I never liked the blue belt until Roman made it blueable. And I was like, yep, he's blue belt.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie though. I care when Bobby had it. Bobby.
Oh, the W. Oh, yeah. I mean, but it had those moments when Big E won it. We were like, yes, Big E. You know what I mean? But then it was like the Miz got it. We were like, all right, who you transitioning to? Who you dropping it to? You know what I mean? And I'm not discrediting Miz, but it was like, no, I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying we knew he was a transitional champion.
He played his part because Ray played that same part. And guess who also played that same part? The Iron Sheik. Right? Bob Backlund came off.
There it is.
Bob Backlund came off a crazy run.
Yep.
And Bob Backlund reign was longer than Roman's. Nobody's catching Bob Backlund at this point, right? Like Hogan's the only person you can attain to, and that in this modern era that anybody will come close to. And it's like, even when Hulkamania was born, they had to hurry up and get the title off of Bob Backlund, and they put it on the biggest villain they could. But he was a transitional champion. It's because they needed that villain to help create Hulkamania, right? So I say, okay.
Like remember when the Miz won the WWE title, you needed a villain, and remember the whole thing was Miz Girl got created. That little lady was on the LTV screen because look who the hero was that was going to take it from the Miz. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, we needed something. We needed a dastardly. And I'm just saying, if we want Roman to, and I'm saying if the plan is for Roman to surpass Hogan, okay, cool. But stop pushing so much stuff in our face that's going to make us, okay, it might be a thing where like, because
I think it's on purpose.
Look what Gunther did. Think about it, if Gunther loses, we're okay with it now. right? Think about it. If Gunther loses
600 days.
Yeah, we're okay with it, right? Like when Sasha lost, we were sad, but it was like, oh, she's the longest reigning women's champion in modern day history. That's a claim that nobody will probably be able to touch, unless Rhea Ripley surpasses her amount. Which, let's be honest, do you think Becky gonna take it from her at Mania and halt that because she gonna be getting kind of close to Bianca's reign?
Yeah, because they still need established names to continue to build that legacy of the Women's World Championship.
Yep.
Right.
But
so what about this guy?
I still think he deserves something in front of in front of a crowd. He needs something in front of the crowd.
They still owe him. This is what I'm saying. We talking about Cody Rhodes. I swear to goodness, I was almost done. I was about to wrap up, man. Swear to goodness.
Yeah, that's a what, to be continued.
Bro, Cody Rhodes saying, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice this for the better of the company. Right. So did Drew McIntyre. It's 3 years later, but in wrestling, you never know who's hot, who's not, what's going on in the moment where you gotta wait to get your they still owe Drew McIntyre a moment. And then he just attacked Cody Rhodes. And nobody knows who the heck he's supposed to wrestle. We don't have time to keep going into this. We've established good for business, bad for business.
Yeah.
I don't know where we even stand on the situation.
I hate to say this.
I think
this actually is a good point.
But it meant something to him, and then it meant something to the Monday Night Wars because of.
I was gonna say it was the Monday Night Wars that made that special.
Yeah,
if you take away the Monday Night Wars, and remember the Big E win was big because Big E kept saying it. Oh, I'm getting that title tonight. I'm taking that title. Oh, I'm taking that title. And what did he do? He got
they report Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just Lamar Jackson was going off that night, even though they lost.
Ooh.
Brothers, we've done it again. We've exhausted this.
Yo, that segment was a whole hour.
No, it was though.
Segment on YouTube.
it might have to be. This is ridiculous. But definitely, please, everybody, follow us on social media platforms as Wrestling Wrealm. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm. We gotta get out of here, man. We're gonna drive ourselves crazy. We appreciate you all in the comments. We appreciate you all who tuned in and listened. Please go back and help us rebook this situation because we're trying to figure it out. We need to get to this press conference because somebody's going to get caught slipping. They're going to drop Easter eggs. They're going to make some statements. They gotta. This is for a reason. How do you make a press conference in a scripted situation? This is how it's working. We are biting at the chomp to figure out. We got to get it because they're leaving clues about what's going on. And I feel like we're all being worked and we need to get to the bottom of this. But we're not going to get to the bottom of that tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, join us next week right here in the Wrestling Wrealm. Head over to YouTube, youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm to check out Championship Culture.
On X.
Meet us on X. Tag us, The Wrestling Wrealm. Social media posts and clips will go up. Brian has already been working on the show to put them up. So please engage in the conversation. We want to hear what you think. Remember, youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm. Championship Culture every Tuesday, 8 p.m. You don't want to miss out on it. We got to get to the bottom of this. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and I am just as confused than I have ever been. And I don't remember being as confused on the road to WrestleMania before. God dang it, Triple H. But enough is going on in the world of professional wrestling. Stay tuned. Join us next week. We will be back. We got to get out of here. Trust me. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting started. WrestleMania is around the corner. We out.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!